Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hello again and welcome to the Cathedral of Wisdom for the Ninja Troll Digicast. We are the people who answer the suicide hotline when the squad calls.
Do we really? Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad.
Is this an emergency?
Can we help you?
Hold, please.
My name is Tim Dixon. I'm here with Mike Worth, and we are your hosts for the Ninja Troll Digicast this week. And this week, we have arrived at the infinite crisis. But if it's infinite, then we don't have to arrive. Technically, it's
around us.
It is everywhere and nowhere.
And I brought my sword, Timmy. Did you bring your sword?
Always.
Okay. Because you never know who will betray us.
It's true, and we have to
dispatch them on live TV.
But she just broke his neck, so
yeah, that would have been greater with the sword.
She didn't bother with the sword. She just
awesome.
Cracked his neck. But
that's coming up in our Infinite Crisis, Exploring the Multiverse segment.
Exactly. In the Exploring the Multiverse segment, we will get to the Infinite Crisis, and we'll talk about it. The first 3 issues we're doing.
First 3 issues, we're going to do a 2-parter for the whole story.
And there's a lot of lead up stuff that you had to do research on and pull in, because there's a lot of things that happen before it that cause it. So like you begin the first page of it, and something horrendous has already happened,
and you have no idea.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of lead up, a lot of crossover stories, spin outs that I didn't read.
Spin outs and blowouts.
Got the synopsis on. Yes. Yeah. Spin outs and burnouts.
Yeah. So we're going to have that in our Exploring the Multiverse segment. In our showcase, last week we visited the greatest science fiction novels from the 50s. This week we're heading to the 60s, the psychedelic 60s. Peace, dude.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of peace in the science fiction of the 60s, but the greatest novels, science fiction novels from the 60s will be our showcase.
Sweet.
And in our comic rack, another month goes by, another power Superman gets.
What?
So we got a little news about a new power that's coming for the Man of Steel. And in our movie and TV news, huge news about a crossover that's going to happen that,
oh my God,
quite frankly, I never thought would happen.
Right. Well,
so
the
I've
Berlanti
been
universe
wrong again.
It's intact. The Berlanti universes.
That's right.
Yeah.
But also this week, it was announced that there will be a Back to the Future reunion at the first ever Silicon Valley Comic-Con in March. This stars Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, and Leah Thompson will take part in a panel, photo ops, and a signing. What's the guy, Crispin, the guy who played his dad? What was his name? Crispin Glover?
Yeah.
You are
George
my density.
McFly. My density. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not.
Give me a milk, Lou.
Does he?
And by the way, you're the only person who says silicone anymore. Silicon. Right?
Whichever.
Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley? Silicon Valley's in L.A. And it's a street. Yeah.
Silicon.
They should call it Silicon.
Podden.
Excuse me, Timmy.
It's tomato.
Indeed. But this reunion looks great, so we won't have George McFly.
And I was wondering about that when I was writing this down. I was like, does he distance himself from it? He's always been a really quirky guy.
What was he in after that at all?
I don't know much of anything.
He's been George, and that's it.
A different performer. There was some show he was on one time, and I vaguely remember him freaking out, and it was like on Letterman or something like that. He freaked out and was just really weird. And
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if he distances himself.
How do you freak out on Letterman?
Well,
that's not the show to do it.
Well, I mean,
you get a ham.
Jerry Lawler slaps Andy Kaufman. So,
I remember that.
Yeah, that was still to this day was the best wrestling storyline ever because they fooled the entire nation.
That was incredible.
So, yeah. But anyway, back to the Silicon Valley, or the Silly Valley. This con was created by Steve Wozniak and will include guests William Shatner, Stan Lee, Nathan Fillion, and Jeremy Renner. I want to go.
Killer.
I want to go.
Can we get off work?
Yeah. But I figure, it's Woz. He's got all the money.
And all the connections.
Right,
everybody loves the Woz. Yeah. I mean, he's like, he's still the remaining
great
part of Apple.
Woz.
The great and powerful Woz.
And quite frankly, I think a more important part. Because, Steve Jobs was the idea guy, and he knew how to sell it.
Right.
But Woz was the guy that built it.
Right. He's the one who soldered it to the wood plank. Yeah.
And and there's still engineers that look at the Apple II board
As a framework
as
for
like a
architecture.
and like a piece of art.
Yeah.
So that's the guy who did the act, like I guess for lack of a better term, the feet on the ground.
Yes.
He was the guy who did all the actual work.
Right.
Not that Jobs didn't do
No,
the
of
work.
course,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. I mean, they were both geniuses in their own right.
Yeah.
A great team. Right?
Oh,
Great
absolutely,
team.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's coming up in March. I think it was March 19th, maybe. But I don't know. We're not going to get to go. So
I'll be drunk from St. Patrick's Day still.
Probably,
That's fine.
So-
Just wake me up. Let me know. Okay.
And apparently, the Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman is generating 500% more social media buzz than Captain America: Civil War and X-Men: Apocalypse.
I've never heard of those movies.
Nah,
Yeah, exactly. Wow, I wonder why. Why is it getting so much buzz?
I don't know. Maybe it could be. It could. You could look at that either way. They may be just blasting more stuff out there, and
Could
therefore it's getting retweeted and stuff.
It could be hate.
That could be as well.
That's
I mean,
part of it.
because it doesn't matter what they're saying about you as long as they're talking about you.
Right. To quote numbers like this is like,
It's
yeah.
and saying something is social media buzz. It's an extremely vague term.
That just means people are typing it. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
that like everybody's going crazy. I mean, it could be, but look,
Could
hey,
be overwhelmingly positive. Could be overwhelmingly. I'm sure there was plenty of social media buzz on the Fantastic Four,
oh yeah,
but it was all
and then-
horrible.
Yeah, that exploded.
So
But all in all, the trailers for Batman and Superman have been superior.
Yeah.
But that one fight scene with Cap and Bucky, I mean,
well,
and Iron Man,
it's
is
almost as if
incredible.
when they excuse me, when they released that trailer with the whole thing, setting everything out for Civil War,
Yeah.
they haven't done a whole lot more.
Yeah, that's really it.
Batman Superman has just been blasting everything. And quite frankly, DC has more hanging on this.
Yeah, they have a lot to lose
They have a
if
lot,
this movie
yeah.
stinks.
If it doesn't do well, it is a lot more damaging to them than if Civil War doesn't do well, or
Right.
Apocalypse.
Right, because
X-Men
Marvel
Apocalypse.
movies have already proven themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So
This
they
is
can-
where they prove themselves and set up their entire universe.
right.
Because this is the entrance of the DC cinematic universe.
You got the team, you got Wonder Woman, and you got all these spin-off things coming out of it, big bads.
Yeah.
I think it's going to
It'd
be
be
great.
the first time that Wonder Woman has been seen on the big screen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she's had the TV show, but she's never been on the big screen.
Right. That's any other shows? Has she ever been on any like Smallville or Lois and Clark? Nothing like that ever.
Yeah, I think.
When the JSA came, was she involved in that or no?
But yeah, animated. Yeah, but as far as live action,
Well, I mean, on didn't the JSA come on Smallville? Wasn't
yeah,
there
but she wasn't there. Yeah, she
wasn't there. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that she's ever appeared in another TV show.
Wow, that's awesome.
Just her on the show from the '70s, Linda Carter.
Wow.
I think that was it. So yeah, they do have a lot more hanging on this than.
So Gal
than Marvel.
Gadot is like on a short list of greats, right?
Yeah, there was
Linda.
there was a pilot for a new show with Adrian Pilecki, who is playing Mockingbird now.
Oh, to be Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, yes.
Wow.
And it was a very different outfit. It was like almost like blue leggings, a little shiny leggings,
What?
and I mean she didn't look bad.
Yeah.
because she's obviously she's physical enough for the role, but the pilot never got picked up. But you can find if you look.
Yeah, what was this Wonder Woman?
The Wonder Woman pilot.
TV show.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find it online. I don't think I watched the entire thing. I watched a little bit of it. But it starts off,
Oh, I see.
yeah, it starts off like in the middle of a mission, like she's running down the street. There was no setting up the setting up the story. She's already Wonder Woman, boom, full on.
Wow, hubba hubba.
Yeah.
She looks good in that outfit. I mean,
Yeah.
she's certainly upholding what
Don't finish that sentence.
Linda Carter was upholding.
Yes.
So moving along here, Tim.
Moving along, yes.
Yeah.
J.C. Penney is selling a Captain America Shield waffle maker.
How many days until yours arrives?
Dude, I need that. Yes, I really need it. It looks really, really
J.C.
cool.
Penney?
Yes, that was a look.
That's a
I mean,
reach.
I think Geek or something like that. But J.C.
Walmart,
Penney was
right, or
yeah.
something like we'd get
Yeah.
a big
But,
deal.
Robert Downey Jr. tweeted about it and said he was jealous. He wanted an arc reactor one.
Or an Iron Face. I mean, that'd be
Yeah.
like the helmet mask. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and there's also I think Geek has one that's the Death Star.
Oh, killer.
So I'm gonna have like a whole.
The waffle iron, as far as I'm concerned, is cheating, right? It's the folks who take the squirt bottles and like put it on the griddle and make
Oh,
the
and
faces with the squeeze bottle.
Really talented.
Man, that's incredible.
That guy's really talented.
He just knocks them out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a super cool way to do that.
Yeah.
So the waffle iron,
Hey,
it's for amateurs. Amateur hour.
That's fine. I'll eat my Captain America Shield waffle and just be an amateur.
Now with
That's
more
fine.
vibranium.
That's right. Exactly. You can't chew it, but and also, I guess you won't get a chance to play Arkham Knight at least anytime soon.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for rubbing that in.
Batman
Jeez.
Arkham Knight has canceled the Mac and Linux port for the game. They just
That's a shame.
said, you know what, never mind.
So this
We
is
can't do it.
This is Feral Interactive who makes these.
Was the
And-
game.
Yeah,
The
and
game
they did
developer.
Arkham Knight or Arkham Asylum,
Yep.
Arkham City,
Yeah.
and they've had this on their radar for a long time.
Yeah,
In
how
fact,
can you not know that it's coming and know that you have to get? And we've discussed this before. It's like, to me, it would be the Mac and Linux and PC port all should be ready at the same time. I mean,
I don't know why. I mean, they make it on a PC, but right, we've seen a lot of these game development engines can output and wrapper for any platform.
yeah,
Maybe it's just so heavy. I mean, I don't
know. Yeah, but the PC version came out. What was it last month? They finally got the PC version out.
All
It
worked
came
out.
out, then they recalled it because it was having so much
getting
trouble.
destroyed on Steam. Yeah,
Yeah.
like because you can write reviews and stuff, and everybody was just like, "Why would I ever spend $50, $60 on this this bad game that's
Yeah.
slow? I have the greatest computer ever." That's what everybody says.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But there's no news on Feral Interactive about what's going on
Yeah.
with that. It's just been removed from their sort of stuff.
Yeah, this is just not going to happen. So,
That's a shame,
yeah, it kind of sucks. But
man.
yeah, but I haven't even finished Arkham City, so it doesn't affect me that much.
It's a great game. Still a great. I
Yeah.
still play it for fun because it's
Yeah.
just like I love doing the dive bombing and
Yeah.
just glide around the city.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
well,
pretty cool.
I guess I'll read or something then.
There you just read a book.
Yeah.
And speaking of Batman, Adam West will appear on the 200th episode of The Big Bang Theory.
200?
200.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That will be on February 25th, so a couple weeks from now.
Nice.
3 weeks from now. We will have Adam West playing himself. So,
Oh, great.
yeah, and they've had Stan Lee's been on there. Stephen Hawking has been on there a couple times.
Stinking Hawking.
Stinking Hawking, yeah. He's been on there a couple times. LeVar Burton, Will Wheaton plays himself as a regular. Or
Leonard
not a regular,
Nimoy
but
was on the
Leonard
show
Nimoy. He
back,
never was actually on there.
He just visited?
He gave the voice to Sheldon's action figure.
Oh.
So he visited him in a dream and gave him sage advice through his action figure.
That's awesome.
But yeah, LeVar Burton's been on there. Will Wheaton is a recurring character playing himself.
I saw the Will Wheaton. Well, Brent Spiner.
Spiner's been
ripped
on-
open
yes.
this TNG package. I saw that episode the other night.
Yes,
It's really funny.
because it ruined it.
Yeah. And then he was like, "Hey, we'll take some prints," and he's like, $20
Yeah,
to the other guys. Yeah, the two other guys.
yeah, So that should be the 200th episode. Of course, is going to be huge, and there's going to be
Cool.
A lot of the recurring characters, like his Sheldon's mom, who is played. I forget her name. She played Roseanne's sister on Roseanne's show.
Jackie.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but she is hilarious because she is a West Texas Bible thumper, and
Laurie Metcalf.
yeah,
Yep.
and she is really, really, really religious, and he is an atheist scientist.
Yeah.
So they bash heads all the time.
Oh,
And
gosh.
she is just she's so funny in that part. And they're going to, I don't know if it'll be on this episode or whether it'll be beforehand, but we get to meet. There's always been talk of Sheldon's Meemaw, his mother's mother.
Yeah.
We get to meet Meemaw this season. I don't know if it'll be, like I said, I don't know if it'll be that episode, but we'll get to meet her at some point.
Wow.
So, and she calls him Moon Pie.
Awesome. We watched the movie Home, the DreamWorks movie Home, about the alien boov, and like, have you seen Home? Oh, it's really good. Well, Sheldon, the guy is him, does the voice.
Okay, I know the one you're talking about now.
He's a little purple alien.
Yeah, little
and they,
purple
like,
alien.
take over Earth, and
And Rihanna is the
little girl.
The girl, yeah.
Jennifer Lopez plays the mom. It's like
Okay.
star-studded. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good. Whenever I watch Big Bang Theory now, all I can think
That's
of,
all you hear, yeah.
Yeah, it's like him going to be like, "This is boov word," like a speaking alien sort of thing. Well, that's great. I'm gonna tune in for that because I've been just starting to get back into Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in years.
Oh, I love the show.
It's
I
really
love
good.
it. Yeah.
It's funny.
Yes,
I mean,
it's
you don't even
really,
have to be
really
a
fun.
nerd to understand it. It's
Yeah.
just good humor.
Yeah, and the thing that initially drew me to it is some of their conversations that, like, a lot of times, like, a scene will start and they're in the middle of a conversation about
Something deep, or
yeah,
something
and,
really.
and it's in like the beginning of Superman. Penny one time she talked about in Superman he flies up and he catches Lois Lane, and Sheldon says, "Well, yeah, if you accept the fact that scene's impossible," and she goes, "Oh, I know, men can't fly," and he goes, "No, let's just take that as being a thing that can happen." When he flies up, she's falling at a so-and-so rate. He's flying up at so-and-so rate. When his arms hit her, he would cut her into 3 pieces. And I was like, this is a conversation I've had before.
Yeah, I
So
guess
that's what
right.
that's what drew me to the show. I was like, okay, these are the guys I would hang out with.
And that would be a real
It would be a real conversation that we would have. So, yeah, that's what I love about the show. So,
Oh man.
but that will transition us right into our movie and TV news. The biggest thing that just came out yesterday, there will be a crossover between
Yes.
Supergirl and Flash.
That's awesome. That's
Grant
gonna be soon.
Gustin will appear on the March 28th episode of Supergirl as Barry Allen / the Flash.
Awesome.
And so it'll be next month we'll get this.
And you're thinking it's going to be in an alternate universe?
I think it will. I think he will visit at some way. He will breach the
vibrational
the
barrier.
the Misty Borderland, and head over to another Earth.
Yeah.
And he will show up on her because I don't think it will be the actual Flaro universe
Yep.
because Supergirl exists in a world where there is Superman, and they have never mentioned that
At all.
at all.
Right.
So I think if they did exist in the world where Superman was a thing, at some point somebody, when they were talking about metas, somebody would have to say something about
the
him.
fact- Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's not a metahuman, right?
Well, no, yeah, but he's a superhero,
Yeah.
and so that would be
Puts them in the same kind
yeah
of world. Yeah.
yeah, and so at some point somebody would say, he's a metahuman, or maybe he's an alien. So because this is obviously a world where they know that they're Kryptonians. Supergirl and Superman are Kryptonians.
Right.
So they're and they have an organization that deals with that. So they would if they were the same world, the DEO where Hank Henshaw and Kara's sister works
Would be somehow
Would-
connected with
yeah.
Argus and right, Amanda Waller and
Yeah. So I think that's what makes me think it's going to be a separate universe. He's just going to
Cool.
kind of pop into a world, not sure where he is, and then runs into her.
probably find out. Oh wow. I wonder who the big bad's going to be and what he'll do, and
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
will she like throw him or something? Or,
Yeah, and will she show up on
on Flaro? Yeah,
on
somehow.
Flaro?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think it will lead to that.
Yeah.
I think at some point she will pop in, but I think and that will be almost no pun intended, but the best of both worlds, because she's separate over here. She can do what she wants. They're separate over here, and just every once in a while, they pop into each other's worlds.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to watch this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the trick right now, is how to watch the show.
Yeah. I got to learn to travel through time so I can actually.
We can talk to Barry.
Have 5 minutes. Yeah. So Barry, how can I watch all these shows and still go to the bathroom?
Yeah. You can watch it while you're in the bathroom. Come on.
Genius! You are a scientist.
The 21st century. Come on.
Yeah.
And speaking of Supergirl, on this week's episode, we got Bizarro.
Oh, a female Bizarro.
A female Bizarro.
Oh.
She didn't bust out the me and Bizarro. That would have put it over the top for me. That would have been awesome. But when they were trying to take her down, they tried kryptonite on her, and because at first she looked just like Kara, and that was the whole thing. She was pulling off stuff, and it looked like Supergirl was doing all this stuff. So she had to go fight her, and they tried to take her down with kryptonite bullets. But that's what made her skin go white, and it's all cracked and stuff.
Oh, so she looked like Kara originally, and then those bullets damaged her.
They damaged her and made her look like Bizarro.
Interesting. Okay.
And
wow.
Maxwell Lord, he had pulled off a serious Frankenstein moment where right at the beginning when it goes back into like 3 months ago when he's first making her, basically, and he injects Supergirl DNA into this girl, and her eyes go black, and he goes, "She's alive."
Yeah, I see this picture of the eyes all black. Yeah, I see. Okay.
Yeah, but
was it the same? Was it Melissa Benoist playing both?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
She looks a little different.
They kind of make it up a little different to where so that it looks so you can tell the difference. And then at some point, the symbol went backwards.
Yeah. I see that.
When they were fighting, the symbol went backwards. But he's Maxwell Lord is brainwashing her, showing her Supergirl doing bad things to convince her that Supergirl's evil and she needed to be taken out.
That's interesting.
And replaced. That was his big thing. He wanted her to replace Supergirl and have a Supergirl that he controlled.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But they like I said, they originally tried regular green kryptonite. Then they developed blue kryptonite, and that takes her down. And that was a something that was introduced in the comics, and we went over on our showcase a couple of weeks ago. All the different colors. Blue kryptonite did the same thing that green kryptonite did,
but to Bizarro.
Yeah,
I see a picture. She looks pretty freaky.
Yeah.
Wow.
And at the end of the episode, when Kara arrives back home, she finds a pod, a plant pod that's been blown out, laying on her coffee table. She goes over, she looks at it, and up above her, the camera shot is looking like up, and behind her you see this crazy looking alien thing, and it jumps on her, and that's where the episode ends.
Oh, jeez.
That's the Black Mercy plant that gives her the hallucination of her greatest dream. You remember the episode we were talking about? It's a Superman story where it gives him the illusion that Krypton didn't blow up. He has a life there on Krypton.
Oh, right. And he went into that world and
yes, but then he realizes it's not real.
Yeah.
And that's next week's episode. Whatever Girl Wants is what the Superman story was called. What Every Man Wants, but this is What Every Girl Wants, and she wakes up on Krypton. There's a teenage Kal-El. Her parents are still there. Everything's cool.
Oh, wow. So we're gonna see a lot of characters or people that have been mentioned.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So yeah, and it's that was the setup for this. That she just got jumped by the plant. So and they have to in the trailer for next week. The DEO and Henshaw and her sister are trying to figure out how to get it loose from her and get her back, because they realize it's killing her at the same time. And Hank, or slash John Jones, however you want to look at him, knows what it is. So
Because he's an alien. Too,
he's an alien, yeah.
Yeah.
Stinking alien.
Wow,
But that will be next week's
this
episode.
show's getting good.
Yeah,
Fast.
it is getting really good. Yeah, they really hit their stride,
Cool.
and it's very refreshing because at the beginning I was giving them, if it kept up the way it was,
You put it on probation.
Yeah.
Like real early.
they had a couple episodes, and then I would be going to do something else while Emma watched it. So, but yeah, it's gotten really good. So, and on Flash, Wally and Barry finally came face to face this week.
Yep.
So he got to see the Flash, and I think Wally's got a well-established need for speed.
Yeah, they overdid that.
Yeah, they hammered you over the head with that. So now that he's met the Flash, I think he'll start to kind of associate with him and probably obsess about him.
Maybe a little bit, right? Because you said Wally's always been so in awe of Barry. Right?
Yes.
So then if they're going to establish that, then cool.
That would be that'd be
He doesn't
easy
know
to
who
do.
Barry is yet.
No.
Yeah, he doesn't know that
No.
part.
And Wally's starting to realize that he is part of a family now, because he.
Well, Joe says.
Yeah,
you know,
Joe
like,
has
you're
going to
be in a family. Yeah. Right. This means we put up with you and deal with you and stuff. But Wells did like a repeat, like he did with the chair, but now in that little medallion on his chest that like
it steals his.
It sort of drew and then transmitted Speed Force into like a little distillery or
a little test tube kind of thing.
a little taste for Zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which was crazy to see. And he got 20% of his speed.
2%.
2%
He
of
was
his
2%
speed.
slower.
Yeah,
Is what Caitlin had said.
but that was slow enough that Iris
to not be able to catch the
glass.
the glass that hit Iris. So
Yeah.
and let me tell you, Joe, Two-Fisted Justice was
man.
the whole episode was just
Bam.
punching people.
Yeah, I know. When he
left and
knocked
right.
Wells out,
Which
that
was
was great.
that was, you know what? I don't have a problem with it.
He's been holding back. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been saying to him, Joe, you know, he's a nice guy, and then he's
And
not.
then this happened, and so he went after him, and because he hurt his son, and he hurt his daughter because his son wasn't fast enough to save her. So
We admitted it, right? That's
Yeah.
something that Wells
Yeah,
would have not normally done.
and he would have killed him
Yeah.
if Iris hadn't been there to stop him. He would have probably killed him.
Joe was ready to beat
He was
down.
ready to beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Harry admitted that he was stealing Barry's speed and why he did it.
Right.
And Barry had a moment where he stepped up, and he's been slowly taking lead in all of this, because now it was the whole first season. Harrison Wells was the guy in charge.
Right.
Now
Barry
he's slowly
executed.
been stepping up to take the lead in the team.
Right.
I think this week's show was really him really stepping up, and it's because everybody wanted to, Harrison was even saying, throw me back to Earth 2, close the breaches, and it's all done. But Barry said, no, that's not what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go and fix this thing. We're going to go to Earth 2. Because
That was awesome announcement. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
You think they're going to close like that? Those breach bombs.
Mhm.
You think they're going to close all the breaches and then go through one and then try and come back and close it again? Or
I don't know. I don't know if they will or not. It right now, because they're going over there, the breaches aren't as important of because the whole thing was we need to close them all so we know where he's coming from.
right?
But if now they're going over there,
They want as many openings
Yeah.
as possible so they can escape.
yeah. So and I think probably they'll end up fighting Zoom and beating him, and they'll probably leave one or two breaches open so they can come back and forth.
Yeah.
So Jay can show up every once in a while, or Barry could go over to Earth 2.
And who was the villain this week?
Tar Pit.
Oh, right. The tar
Yeah.
pit. Yeah, that was crazy.
That guy, yeah. The CGI on that was really cool.
Well, the fact that he was like stuck under the building for 2 years, I was
That kinda
like,
sucks.
that's a little weird. Yeah, it's like,
It really sucks.
yeah. But it was cool. It was like he went back and killed all those mob guys who were
Yeah.
tried to mess him up, and
It's like the Punisher.
yeah, except the tar.
Except for the
Tar
tar,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but next week we're gonna see they're going to Earth 2,
Right.
and I love how everything is like sepia tone. It's gold tinted for Golden Age, I assume.
Yeah.
But
Everybody's evil. Like we have this theory about Earth 2 maybe being Earth 3,
it could be, yeah.
which yeah.
But we see in the trailer for next week, we see Earth 2 Barry Allen.
Oh, did we?
He's got, yeah. You have to look at it to realize, when Caitlin is saying Killer Frost, Earth 2 Caitlin,
Right.
is saying which one of you are in the wrong world. She's talking about Barry, because there's Barry with a bow tie and little glasses.
How did I miss this?
Yeah, it's very quick. It's very quick.
Let's see, Earth
and you
2.
you see Barry and you just think, oh yeah, that's our Barry. But that's a different. He's
Oh,
it's a different character.
he's a real nerd.
Yeah, and they're trying, and she's saying which one of you are in the wrong world.
Oh wow. Yeah, he looks like 40s Barry.
Yeah, and we get the return next week. We get the return of Robbie Amell as Deathstorm.
Oh.
Instead of Firestorm, he's Deathstorm.
And is
I
he
wonder
still
if-
Ronnie? Is he Ronnie Raymond?
Yeah,
on
he's
that
Ronnie
world?
Raymond. I wonder if Professor Stein is in there, or whether he just took over the Matrix entirely.
Oh. I wonder. Right.
Yeah.
Well, if Ronnie died, did Stein die? Right. Like.
Well, I don't think this is. I think this is just an evil Firestorm. I don't think it's the undead Firestorm.
Oh. Well, then it can't be Deathstorm.
Well, he could call himself that.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, that's. I guess they can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's not-
I
it's
don't
not
need to impose rules.
It's not like you have to qualify. You can't call yourself Deathstorm because you're not dead.
Or, yeah, you haven't taken the Lantern Corps certification test.
It's just a scary name, so he goes with that.
It's a great name. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it means something, so it's. Anyway.
That's true. It was established in the comics that was the undead Ronnie Raymond.
That's fine. I think
So.
we'll be okay. we'll survive this next
Yeah,
episode.
we'll see next week and see what they're doing with it. But I'm really excited to see them go to Earth 2. and see
Absolutely.
what- and
I'm
we're
pumped.
gonna get more Zoom. And that whole scene where Wells gave him the power or the Speed Force.
And then Zoom cracked out.
Yeah, he got seriously cracked out. He's like, okay,
Yeah.
give me more.
Yeah, right.
So,
that was nuts. I mean, I'm excited to I'm waiting for the Killer Frost reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Deathstorm I'm okay with, but I really want to see Caitlin kind of go bad.
Yeah.
She's been so good, you
Yeah.
know, and I feel like Ronnie could be bad if he wanted to, and it wouldn't be a big deal. But I
she
guess
has such a wholesome character.
yeah, right. She always does the right thing, and and also too, she's pulled to Earth too because she's really in love with Jay.
Yeah.
At least we think. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they're interested in each
Yeah.
other.
Yes. So so next week is going to be really, really interesting. So
Nice.
and also Arrow this week. You didn't get to watch the entire episode.
I got part way, yeah. But I mean, it was cool. We had the return of what's his name?
Arsenal.
Roy. Roy Harper. And
But the deterioration of Thea.
yeah,
She's getting worse and worse because it essentially the way Malcolm explained it, because Dark's solution to her, because when Damien Dark tried to suck the life out of her,
it took some of her bloodlust, right?
Yeah, it took the bloodlust, but unfortunately, it has to even itself out. So because the bloodlust hasn't been,
So it's like if she had killed somebody, it would have satisfied it.
yeah,
So it's resurging.
yeah, exactly, and it's causing her to revert. And at one point, the wound where Ra's al Ghul killed her
Right.
showed up.
Yeah.
So so she's returned. It's taking away because essentially the Lazarus Pit hasn't been paid for what it did, so it's recalling the healing that
Interesting. Okay.
it gave. That may be the best way to look at it, is because there's a payment for that, and that is blood.
Yes, she has to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because that hasn't been done, it's saying it's repoing what it did. So
The repo pit.
yeah, exactly. So, but we get to see the calculator,
Yeah.
which Felicity rightfully says is a stupid name,
Yeah.
and refuses to call him that for most of the episode. But it's a villain that she has to go after. It's a nemesis for her.
Yeah. Which is great because she's got to kind of prove herself.
Mm-hmm.
Now that she's in the wheelchair,
And
she's trying to sort of keep relevance because she can't fight. I mean, now anymore. I mean, she was getting into kicking butt. She knocked a couple people in the jaw. Yeah. But now that she's what was the Overwatch?
Overwatch
is her code name.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the calculator has a big connection. I know you missed this part at the end, but
you're going to spoil it anyway, so let's just go for
it. Calculator has a big connection with her because we find out at the end of the episode that is her dad. Because the entire episode they're fighting on the other side of a computer connection, so they don't see each other. They don't even know if it's male or female.
And he does that like weird digital voice, right?
Exactly, and she did the same thing.
Yeah.
So they didn't know who the other one was, and he showed up at the end at her presentation at Palmer Tech.
Palmolive Tech.
Yes, exactly. So he obviously this is going to come back to be an issue again because he's not just going to go. The villain is not just going to go away.
Especially with her mom being in town and dating Quentin and stuff. And
yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
Drama.
Yeah. And then I think a big reason he's there is because she's the CEO of
Palmer Tech.
Yeah,
absolutely. And he knows who she is. Like that's my daughter.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because he showed up and because she was done with her presentation, and Oliver had just left. She wheels around and he's there, and she looks up and goes, "Dad." So it's not like an estranged kind of thing. It was like she wasn't
like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah,
here?
no, she was happy to see him.
No,
it was like a happy surprise. So
little does she know.
Exactly.
But then the whole other biggie thing is, right? Merlin is now being challenged for the right to be Roz.
Nisa obviously has
claim. Yeah.
Well, no, she obviously has backers in the league because they got her out.
Yeah,
they got her out, got her to Japan where she finds Katana.
Yeah.
To get, and you don't know why she's going to meet her and what she's getting from her, but she goes and tells Katana that she needs the Lotus. That's Katana's job, is to protect it. So they start to fight, and they have essentially a standoff. And Nisa says, "Okay, we can do this for 100 years."
Yeah.
And just until we collapse of exhaustion, or we can talk, and I've got something that affects Oliver Queen.
I got a plan.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because she still has a connection with Oliver. And
was Katana on a previous episode?
Yes.
Okay, because I recognized her, but then I was like, oh, wait a minute, because now I know Katana better from stories and from Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. Cool. So she's back in, and she's in love with Oliver, or what's her?
No, her and her husband and Oliver were all part of the same group.
Oh, right, when they were in the flashback.
In the flashbacks, exactly.
I remember now. So that lady becomes Katana, the one who Oliver tries to help the son.
Yep.
That was sad. Yeah, that was a sad moment.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting.
So she owes him because he protected her and her son.
Right. But then the other guy, he died.
Yeah.
Because he died defending.
The husband died, yeah.
Right. When Oliver was trying to, with the whole becoming Roz thing, and then Merlin said, "Hi, I'll be Roz."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you get revealed at the end. It gets revealed at the end. She was going to Katana to get the Lotus. She shows up as Thea is getting worse and worse. Nisa tells Oliver, "There's only one thing that can fix this. That's the Lotus.
The Lotus.
I've got it.
Nice.
And I'll give it to you if you kill Malcolm Merlin."
Oh.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So that's an interesting.
How are they going to work that
twist
out? Yeah, right. That's going to be a toughie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we still, again, the grave is being teased again. but who is in it? And now Roy's back. That's another option. It could be
Yeah,
Roy.
Roy could be killed, right? I mean, because like, if Roy comes back, the whole Thea thing has to reignite, or has to continue. Or,
Well, he also because everyone thinks he's dead and that he was Arrow.
yeah,
That's why Oliver's safe.
right.
Because people
Roy
thought
was the fall guy.
Yeah, he was the fall guy, and they think he's dead. So that's the reason he left town. Because if he shows back up in town, people are gonna wonder what's going on.
Why? What's up with the Arrow?
Yeah. And people are going to notice that the Green Arrow is almost exactly the same as Arrow.
Yes.
But they can't figure that out.
No,
I guess. It's like the glasses. Clark Kent takes off the glasses. He's Superman. So
because
the hypnotic disguise glasses.
all the archers, none of them know each other.
No.
It's just the right color. Yeah.
That's right. So, but also Legends of Tomorrow. This will be Legends of last week because the new show comes on tonight. So we're talking about last week's. And Hawkman got snuffed.
I know, that was sad.
It was a little shocking.
That was
I
a
thought.
kick to the breadbasket.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
oh, really? Like I thought they were going to totally take Savage down again or get away from him or something. Time jump, and keep it going, keep the energy. But yeah, he took that like crazy weird knife, right in the gut. I was like, damn.
Yeah, and like I said, it was a little shocking to be this early. One of them taking a fall. Although the promos for the one that comes on tonight showed them working on him, so they may be able to bring him back.
And you said that during our show warm up that like that was true, and it was like, oh, okay, so they're going to keep him in the mix somehow.
Could be. I don't. Yeah.
But Savage like dementored his soul.
Yeah.
He sucked in his face.
Yeah.
And then he was like restored. And then he tried to do that on Hawkgirl. I forget her name.
Shara.
Shara.
Yep.
Shara.
Well, Shira. Yeah, but she also goes by Kendra. So I don't know. And she actually, somebody called her Shira, and then went, oh, sorry,
and she
Kendra.
Said, yeah,
and then
she said,
she
no,
was like,
please, I
think
that
she
remembers.
Was that Carter?
Yeah,
Before
Carter
he died, that said that. Okay.
She said it to him while they were talking because he was saying, "Oh, I remember our first life or something."
Yeah, because he remembers everything,
and she barely.
And she has to be remembered every time. She has to be reminded every time she's reborn. She has to learn it all.
It's like, it's like 50 first dates.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah.
That must be hard. Yeah. Poor Carter.
It kind of sucks. Yeah.
But yeah, we saw the Flash. Or I guess the preview for the next episode, and they're going to time travel. And they're going to meet up with Easy Company.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be next episode.
Oh no, okay.
But these are stuff that has been released in posters and stuff like that. People have figured out they figured out that you can do an Instagram filter on it, and you can see an image in the background.
Oh,
and that's
really?
where they've come up with a lot of these.
Wow.
But some of the stuff that has been released are Sergeant Rock and Easy Company.
Sweet.
So at some point they will be heading to World War II, and they'll meet up with Sergeant Rock and Easy Company. The hourglass that's seen in the Wave Rider in Rip Hunter's office area, there's an hourglass there. That is our man's hourglass.
Awesome.
So at some point, I figure we're going to see that.
Yes.
There's also the Golden Age Sandman. His mask can be seen on the ship as well. Yep, the gas mask.
Oh, wow.
So those are going to be I don't know if we'll actually get those characters, but at least that it has been confirmed that that's where they are really from. Those. It's not just Easter eggs. It's at least something that's going to get mentioned.
Well, we're going to get Jonah Hex, right?
We're going to get Jonah Hex,
for sure. Mm-hmm. So then we have to get the 7 soldiers of victory.
I would figure so, yeah.
Right? I mean, we were saying,
the connection
it's so
right there.
cool to see Shining Knight and Enemy Ace and what's the woman? I forget her name. Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, yeah.
I think it was, yeah.
Valkyrie. And they've said in the upcoming 6th episode, they're going to travel to the future, to 2046.
Nice.
And Stephen Amell will play an older Green Arrow.
Oh.
With the goatee. He'll finally have the goatee, like he's supposed to have. And he'll be missing an arm, as kind of a nod to the Dark Knight version.
Did he lose an arm in the Dark Knight Returns?
In Dark Knight Returns, when he helped Batman against Superman, he was missing an arm, and he blamed Clark. They never explained what happened to it, but he blamed Clark.
Damn.
And
Yeah.
it's pretty
Holy moly.
pretty gnarly. And the episode will also feature Connor Hawke, who is Oliver's son and is the second Green Arrow.
Who's been introduced, right,
Yes.
as a boy.
And like
right?
I said, until they say different, I'm calling him Connor on the show.
Yeah, they didn't name him, right?
They didn't name him at all.
say
Yeah.
at all, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Cool. Lots of great Easter eggs.
yeah, that's going to be coming up in the 6th episode. So tonight is the third.
Third, yeah. Which
Okay.
would be great.
So we're getting there.
Yep.
So
And how crazy was that when Ray's like tech like fell off his hand,
Yeah.
and it turned into like a death ray that like Savage used later, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, let's go back and fix that.
yeah,
I mean, that
it was
was
like
like
Terminator.
Yeah, right. Yeah, where you got the
exactly
hand
it.
and the T-1000 or whatever crap. And
Yeah.
the chip. That was
chip,
cool.
yeah.
I really liked that there was like a consequence.
Yeah.
And
Because you have to do that because stuff like that, this
matters.
super high tech suit that he's got. If somebody who could take advantage of it comes across it, then it could be a huge problem.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
that show has been a lot of fun so far. So I'm hoping
It's
for
off to a great start.
I'm
for sure.
hoping for a lot more stuff from them. So, and a new animated series, Justice League Action. We talked about it. I think we talked about it last week or maybe the week before. Cartoon Network had just announced it.
Cool.
Now, the big news coming out, as far as I'm concerned, huge news.
Is it Young Justice?
No,
Yeah.
this is on the Justice League Action series. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill
Oh man.
will both reprise their the
Joker,
roles
Batman.
of Batman and Joker.
Awesome.
That's
So it has
I'm
to be
sold.
a big enough project
Yeah.
that they'll want to do it, because like they don't always let them do that.
and Mark Hamill said, "I'm done. I've retired." And the only thing he said he would come out of retirement for
Dark Knight Returns
was Killing Joke.
Killing Joke, right?
And so that Kevin Conroy has been tweeting pictures of the two of them in the studio. So
Okay.
everybody assumed they're working on Killing Joke.
But it's not the case. Yeah.
They may also be working on that, but they're working on this as well.
But it could be that maybe they said, all right, Mark, like we're going to do Killing Joke, but if you could do this Justice League Action, like
Yeah.
it just works, and
Yeah.
then you can be Luke Skywalker at the same time.
And you can, exactly. But they're joining a cast of actually some pretty heavy hitters. James Woods will be Lex Luthor.
Oh, nice.
Diedrich Bader will be Booster Gold, and Diedrich Bader was the voice of Batman in Brave and the Bold, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he's
So
done.
he's going to be a booster?
He's going to be Booster,
Oh, all right.
and this will be released in 11-minute episodes, just like Teen Titans Go.
Because right, we talked about this because it's the action, so it's gonna be like Action Comics.
Yeah.
So it'll be little snippet stories.
Little snippets, and it'll be like kind of a revolving. It's just not always the same group.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any teaser images yet? For,
There was one, and it's almost a mixture of this really simplified cartoonish Teen Titan Go, but then a regular heroic kind of style. It's
Okay.
a little more simplistic than your usual animation, but not quite so far as Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, Teen Titans Go is really stylized.
Yes, yes. But you sign up Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, you've got me as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. I'm with you
Did you find some
100%. Oh, yeah, I'm just seeing a picture. I'm guessing this is them? Or is that something
I hadn't
else?
seen that one.
No, it's different.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. That was
It's very anime looking, I was going to say.
that one may be from some of the other stuff that they're.
Because the what's it called? The Justice League Unlimited and stuff, that had kind of a very stylized look to it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, is it this? Justice League Action?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. This style looks just like the I don't know if you remember the Batman
Yep,
that came out when he had the super ears.
yep. Yeah, he had really long ears.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Oh, wow. This is really good. I feel like this is something then that like I can watch with my daughter
Yep,
and like not feel bad about.
and exactly.
Look, we watch every show. It's like not a big deal. So I'm
Yeah.
not, yeah.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to it now. I wish.
When's it due out?
They haven't said. They
Okay.
haven't said a release date, but I kind of wish it would be a little bit longer. I mean, because 11-minute episodes are okay, but how much can you do? How much can you set up and do like a long form story?
You probably won't. I mean,
Yeah.
the other shows were the 26 minutes, and they would sometimes have 2-3 episodes. I imagine these are probably going to be like instantiated adventures.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It'd be funny if they were funny. I mean, because
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go is sometimes hilarious. I mean, really, just stupidly hilarious. And they, it's perfect for that.
Yeah, that's true.
But
It's true.
I mean, how are do you read Action Comics now, right?
No, I don't read it.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause
how
it's-
is it that they
I
handle
mean,
the small comic
that's-
stories?
They don't. That's the thing. Action Comics hasn't been that form of the anthology format in
Anthological,
a
yep.
long time. It's
Okay.
now just a secondary Superman title. That's
I
all.
see. Okay.
Yeah, it probably in the 70s or 80s it stopped having secondary stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's been a long time since they had like the anthology style. So it's that's not something you, other than like Showcase. I don't know if they do Showcase anymore, but they did it back in the 90s. They brought it back as an anthology series
With little
with
mini
like
stories.
three or four stories in one. But that may be the last time I've seen something like that.
Okay.
So, but
right. Let's hope
you're
it's
speaking of Young Justice.
Yeah.
Greg Wiseman, who is one of the creators of the show, says that there still could be a future for Young Justice if enough interest is shown by fans. He suggests binge watching it on Netflix now that both seasons are on there.
Oh yeah.
Done.
Oh, that show is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Which I don't. I know I've watched some on Netflix, but I don't know if I've shown any to Emma.
It's
I think she
a great
would.
show.
I think she would jump all over that. I need to show her that on
Because you
on
got
Netflix.
Superboy, Miss Martian, Aqualad,
Kid Flash,
Robin.
and in the second season he becomes Nightwing.
Yeah, right.
And you get Artemis, who was Green
Artemis.
Arrow's. Well, she's introduced as Green Arrow's sidekick.
Okay.
But
Is it Thea or
no, it ends up being you realize I'm not gonna get into who she's revealed to be, because it's a long running thing of she's not who she's supposed to be, and it's several times you see the adults like the Justice League talking about her being there and it being dangerous.
Oh.
So it's a big plot point.
That's cool.
And then you have Roy, who's Red Arrow.
Arsenal, Red Arrow, yeah.
Basically telling them, because the first episode starts, they're being allowed into the
Justice
Hall of Justice.
Right.
And this is like their big moment. They're being, and they basically show them to, like, stuff that you can even see on the public tour. And Roy is sitting there going, okay, this is BS. They're trying to make you think they're doing this, but they're not. And he's telling they're all crazy, and Robin and Kid Flash are all just like all in for it.
Oh, yeah.
And then he leaves, and then Batman tries and basically says, okay, we're giving you a headquarters. It's the old Justice League headquarters in Mount Justice. They give them that. Yes, that's what they call it.
Mount Justice.
They give them the headquarters and start giving them missions, which Wally and Dick think, okay, now come on, you can come in with us, Roy. Come on. And he's says screw this, and I'm out of here. So he's a bit of a jerk in the show, but
A little bit, yeah.
yeah. But he's a lot like Ollie. Oliver is like the loner kind of character where he's the radical, and Roy is a lot like him. So he's kicking back, he's pushing back all the time.
It's not going to be a good team up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see like Katana or Zatanna, sorry, Beast Boy, Looks like another Robin.
Yeah, in the second season, Dick
Who is
became
that?
Nightwing, and that would be Tim.
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake.
Okay. Blue Beetle. I
Yep.
guess Jaime Reyes.
That's Jaime, yeah.
Blue Beetle. Who's this guy in the back that looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon? You see him? He's like a dragon dude.
Oh, that is what did they call him? He's an
Changeling or something?
no, he's an Atlantean.
Ocean Master?
No,
He's a bad guy, right?
I can't remember the kid's name, but he was really cool because he could. I don't want it to sound like he was a puffer fish, but it was kind of that way.
a
But
blowfish?
he puffed up into a like a warrior,
Oh,
and he was
cool.
like a badass monster.
Oh, awesome.
Let me look. Okay, I've got the page up here now of the group because Aqualad was separate. Speedy. Come on, listen a second, because he was just second season.
Yeah. Lagoon Boy?
Lagoon Boy. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah,
But
see.
he's a stupid name, but he could be really, really a hell of an asset to the team. But yeah, it's definitely a stupid name.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and
Wow. I see. Yeah, when he gets all buffed up,
yeah, when he blows up, he's
he's a force.
yeah, like I said, it's kind of sounds like you're describing a puffer fish, but he's a badass puffer fish.
Hello, Lagoon Boy.
So
Not even like Lagoon Lad. Like at least you get the alliteration out of it.
yeah,
Come on.
but yeah, the whole second season was a whole thing of almost like secret agent. They were like
Spies
spies
Squad or-
because Aqualad supposedly went back with Black Manta and was working with him, but he was a spy.
Oh, infiltrating.
Yeah,
the
he was
evil
infiltrating.
Atlanteans.
Yeah. So it was the whole thing was it turned into a whole lot more of a covert operations and Flash had Kid Flash had left the team, but he actually hadn't. Artemis was supposed to be dead, but she wasn't. So it was
Oh.
and it actually was very well done, and
Cool.
it was a 5-year jump from season 1 to season 2.
Oh, wow.
So that's when it comes back. In the first season, Batman was basically the guy in
like
charge.
babysat them.
Yeah,
right?
Red Tornado was the babysitter, but Batman was like, okay, here's your mission. This is what you're doing, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this. He was like the mind who set everything up.
Yeah.
In second season, like I said, it had jumped 5 years. Dick had become Nightwing, and he was in that spot. He was the one calling the shots.
Coordinating.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and he was the one much like his mentor, he was the one that had all the irons in the fire, and he was the one getting Garth to go undercover, and he was the manipulator.
He was
Yeah.
stirring the drink.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he's the one and he was the only one that knew all everything. Everybody else was only like need to know, but he was the one that knew everything.
I want to because I never watched the second season. Let me see. Young Justice.
I almost completely missed it because they changed the name.
Oh, right.
They changed it to Young Justice Invasion. And so it was set to record under Young Justice, but it never did. And all of a sudden I was like 4 episodes in and I realized, hey, wait a minute. The new season started, but why is it not recording?
Damn. He looks
sucks.
great as Nightwing.
Yeah.
Like they really did a great job with him.
Yeah. And then
With
speaking
the
of
Screama sticks and the little
Yeah.
pouch belt and stuff.
speaking of in Titan Hunt, that series,
That new
the comic series,
Yeah.
he just busted out the Nightwing, not the old school blue one, but he just busted out the Nightwing costume.
Oh, cool. Like with
So-
the glowing blue.
No, it was a red. The red is the new 52 version.
Oh, the new 52.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it was
yeah,
red. I would really love to seen the blue version.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
because they're-
new 52, right?
Yeah, they're starting to Garth, Wonder Girl, and Dick are all having visions, basically, that they know each other, but they don't really know what's going on. And they're being they know they're being targeted, and that was the end of this last issue. Was he was like, okay, if they want to target, let's give them Nightwing, and he bust out the costume.
Nice.
So I hope that means I mean, I like Grayson. It's okay, but I'd much rather see Nightwing.
Oh man!
So
I
I hope
do some
he,
artwork about Nightwing.
Yeah,
He's
I hope
just
he
such
shows
a cool
back up.
character.
Oh yeah. I've always loved him.
I even like the Perez classic
The popped collar.
pop.
That was huge, man.
Poppin'.
Yeah, that collar was crazy. But moving on from Deadpool. Ryan, did you see this infographic?
It looks like boobs.
It looks like boobs, exactly.
I was like, Venn diagram turned into boobs.
Yeah.
Well done.
Ryan Reynolds released what he calls a graphic infographic showing a Venn diagram of characters in the movie. And it looks like boobs.
Yeah.
It splits them up into heroes and douchebags. The heroes include Vanessa Carlyle, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Colossus, Blind Owl, and Weasel. And the douchebag side includes Angel Dust, Ajax, and the Recruiter. And, of course, right in the middle is Deadpool himself, both because he's a little bit of both, and, of course, a little motorboat. Yeah. And the movie received a 15 rating in the UK, which I had to Google to find out what that
does
meant.
that mean?
It means that the British Board of Film Classification feels that it shouldn't be seen by a person under 15. So it's essentially the R rating.
It's like NC-17. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't. It doesn't say, because like an R rating here says no one under 17 unless
With a
with a
parent.
parent.
Yeah.
This one just says nobody under 15 should watch it. So I don't know if it's the equivalent of an R rating or an NC-17.
I would so much more rather want to see it. I'd be like, oh my God, we're gonna go see this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Ryan Reynolds was on the Graham Norton show on the BBC, and as he put it, it's rated 15 in the UK, and it's rated "Go F Yourself" in China.
Yeah, they banned it.
They
right?
banned it
Completely
entirely.
banned it.
So, yeah, he said they rated it "Go F Yourself," and they released the first clip online that shows Deadpool, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and Colossus facing off with Angel Dust.
Ooh.
The
taking it or fighting with the character Angel Dust?
No, fighting with Angel Dust.
Because that would be.
Whew,
I mean,
Deadpool on drugs would be
that'd be
crazy.
an amazing movie.
But yeah, the scene it was like a shipyard where the three of them show up, and Angel Dust and Ajax, they're up on the top of some shipping thing, and Deadpool goes, "Well, wait, she's gonna do a superhero. What does he call it? A superhero drop, or something like that." And she drops down and lands in. It's like, and he goes,
right.
"Yeah, it looks great, but it's got to be hell on your knees."
Yeah.
And then you have the whole scene where Colossus gets knocked out by Angel Dust, and then he goes, "Okay, this is why I brought her," and points to Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and she's tweeting. She has her phone out, and she's like,
right.
holding up the finger.
By all
going,
means,
wait, by all means, finish your tweet.
Yeah.
So, but it's a lot of fun. It looks, again, I cannot wait for this movie. It's just gonna be.
So what's our timing again? So we got next is Wonder Woman Superman, Batman Superman.
No, this comes out first. This comes out in February. When exactly does Deadpool come out? Quick, get on that.
Fast. Yeah, Deadpool release.
It's this month, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, February 12th. Damn.
That's next week.
It is.
It is, yes.
According to this calendar.
I've learned how to read
is.
one. So, yeah, that's next week. Then March 25th, so next month, is Batman versus Superman.
Man.
Yeah.
All right.
We knew it was coming.
We're going to have to mortgage something.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. So, and also, the Wolverine sequel starts filming in New Orleans on April 25th.
That's going to kick off the Gambit movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds keep tweeting stuff with each other, and I think he'll make some kind of cameo in the Deadpool movie.
Oh, that'd be great. Well,
I think so.
Ryan Reynolds was in the last Wolverine,
Yep.
so yeah.
Yeah, so
His mouth shut.
That was two. That wasn't the last one. That was one before that.
Two Wolverines.
Yeah,
ago?
and they both realized that it was really bad.
Stupidest thing they ever did. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When I went to go see that, I was with two guys who knew and loved Deadpool. At the time, I didn't really know much about him, so I didn't have as much of a problem with
them
what they
doing that.
did to him.
Yeah.
Now watching it now, I'm like, okay, and now I know why they were pissed off.
Yeah. Right. It's like
Yeah, and you take away what makes
a
him
mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the merc with the mouth, and you sew his mouth shut. I mean, it made sense in the movie why he would do that, because that was the thing the colonel said. You'd be the perfect soldier if it wasn't for that mouth. So he sews it shut. I understand in the movie why it was done, but
Yeah.
it's horrible. So
Do you take the barker out like they do with dogs?
you muzzle him.
So the old whispered jokes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch myself later.
Yeah. This is going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, that's coming up next week then.
Awesome.
And also, Thor, for the Thor Ragnarok movie that's coming up,
Yeah.
the Hulk will be in that.
Cool.
And there's been a lot of discussion about having a more vocal and credible, you might say, Hulk, a more conscious to where, because he's
Just not in the fury all the time.
exactly. You saw a little bit of that with the puny god scene in the Avengers,
Oh,
where
yeah.
he ragdolls Loki.
Yeah.
That was a conscious thought. I mean, that wasn't just a grunting and Hulk smash. He actually kind of made a joke. So that's a little more than you're used to getting from the Hulk.
That's true.
So-
when you said vocal, I was like, I can't wait for the first Marvel musical. Ragnarok, right?
That would be awesome.
Smash.
And it actually reminds me of something that I thought that I had about Deadpool.
Uh-oh. What's that?
That may be an issue.
What?
I think it's going to take 3 times watching this movie to catch everything.
Oh, of course.
Because people
Yeah.
are going to be laughing. And that was the thing in the Avengers. I didn't know actually exactly what he said until I got the DVD.
Oh.
Because he ragdolls everybody. He ragdolls Loki. Everybody's laughing. And he walks away. Everybody's laughing so much that you can't hear what he says.
What did he say?
He said puny god. I think that's going to be the case with Deadpool.
I'm sure.
You're going to have to,
You'll get 60% of the jokes.
Yeah.
Just because you can't hear the rest.
because you can't hear the rest because everybody's laughing.
Yeah.
So that we may have to just go ahead and plan. We're going to have to watch this 3 times at the theater to catch everything. And you might not even get it then. You might have to wait until you get the DVD to catch all the jokes. So,
I'd be all right with that.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not going to buy it.
No.
So, but an advanced review of the mid-season premiere of The Walking Dead.
Wow, that's soon, right?
That is
March?
Valentine's Day,
Valentine's Day.
because nothing says love like zombies. But an advanced review of the mid-season premiere says it's one of the episodes that makes you love the show in the first place.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they gave it a 9.4 out of 10 rating.
Ooh.
It's pretty damn
Wow.
high. And Greg Nicotero, who is both the effects mastermind behind it and also one of the executive producer, he is directing this. And usually when he directs an episode, it's one of the good ones.
Yeah, well, that's good.
He says that the back end of season 3, or no, I'm sorry, he says back in season 3 when T-Dog died,
Oh.
there was actually a plan to kill Carol instead of T-Dog.
Which would have went with the comics
Yeah,
more closely.
yeah, because they weren't quite sure what they could do with her as a character.
Oh, well, I'm
Where
glad
they
they
could
held
go
on
with
to her. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that shows you there you can delve into these characters and you can take them, because Carol has been one of the best characters on there.
Right, and they let her live from the comic book.
And they have taken her in these interesting places. So yeah, you can look at that and go, okay, yeah, I'm not sure what we can really do with her, but let's just keep her around. And then you end up coming out with a character like that. That if Carol died right now, there'd be a lot of people that would just stop watching the show.
Oh yeah, I mean, because Carol's, she represents so much.
Yeah, she's
a lot
one
of
the
people
best
see
characters on
themselves.
there.
Yeah, right. Because she's the mom who turned into one of the greatest warriors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, but they weren't sure where they could take her character. So, but that was back in season 3. Thankfully, they found somewhere. So,
wow, yeah, I remember when T-Dog died. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. They were planning to kill Carol. Then they realized, oh, T-Dog's a black male. We can only have one of those on the show, so we got to get rid of him.
For the quota?
It seems like the recurring thing is like, if you introduce another black male, oh, this other one's got to go. Unfortunately, it seems like the recurring theme.
So awful.
I just report it. I didn't do it. And a picture of Chris Hemsworth on the set of the new Ghostbusters movie was released.
What do you want?
He's Janine.
Right. Yeah, totally.
He's absolutely Janine.
He's going to be great. Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see if they nerd up his character to where they don't look at him as
a hunk,
at all, or whether it's going to be he's a hunk, but he doesn't realize he's a hunk.
Right.
Kind of deal. It'd be interesting to see how they do his character, because Janine was by no means, even though she had the hots for Egon, she was by no means a love interest of any of them.
Yeah.
Well, and she's not. Yeah, she was not put forth as a bombshell. So yeah, it'd be interesting to how they do his character.
Well, I mean, he looks pretty nerdy and plain, and
but he's Chris Hemsworth. He's 6'5", 275 pounds. I mean, he's a big
blonde.
dude.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Australian, the Australian accent and the whole deal. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they treat his character in the movie. So, and the MacGyver reboot has been picked up by CBS.
I heard this. Oh man!
It will be 10 years before like the original series, so it'll be a younger Angus MacGyver, just getting into the organization. I don't even remember the name of the organization he was part of, but it was some kind of spy deal. It'll be him just getting into the organization and how he acquires his skill set of making chewing gum and a paperclip into an explosive. It'll show how he does that stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess.
Oh man.
But big news, I think. DC Entertainment Chief Creative Officer Jeff Johns is saying that even though TNT passed on the live-action Titans show, he says, quote, "We have plans for Titans. It's a huge piece of DC, and we have plans."
That's great.
That's a direct quote from him.
That's great.
So
it's a shame
they're
TNT
shopping.
missed out.
Yeah, they're shopping it somewhere else, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Spike.
You never know. It could happen.
Right. Sci-fi could get in the mix on that. Thinking about networks that have hosted Heroes shows before.
Yeah, it could happen. So.
Yep.
And Elizabeth Banks has signed on to play Rita Repulsa in the upcoming Power Rangers reboot movie.
Oh, that's amazing!
I don't see her. She's a little too attractive to be Rita Repulsa. But
let's see, Elizabeth Banks.
She's very attractive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't strike me as Rita Repulsa. But I'm sure she'll get into it.
Yeah, I mean, well, she plays that weird lady in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Who's like all kabuki looking and stuff.
Yeah.
But she was in like Zack and Miri.
Yeah.
Make a Film. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of other movies, I think, that come from the Judd Apatow world of things.
Oh, she's really funny. So, yeah, that should be good. Yeah, that should be good. She'll be good. It just doesn't strike me as... Or like Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh.
She is...
How many great things that she's played.
She is a beautiful lady. but she constantly takes parts that make her into hideous monsters.
Nasties. Yeah, right. Just nasty stuff.
But she's a beautiful lady.
Right,
so.
when she was Beatrix in Harry Potter, you're like, oh.
Yeah, she was pretty scary looking.
Damn girl. Yeah.
And Gotham has announced that Jada Pinkett Smith will reprise her role as Fish Mooney on the second half of Gotham.
That was supposed to not
Season
happen.
2. Yeah, she
reported previously, right?
She said she was gone. I don't know if she specifically said gone completely, but she wasn't signed up for the second season.
Well, she got overshadowed kind of quickly, right? So many of the great, because at first she was like
she was the
big bad
main
and
one,
sort of ushering in. Yeah, right. The people thought she was maybe the Penguin, right? Well, one thing, sorry, really quick, that I did not realize: Jerome, the character who plays Jerome, is on the show Shameless on Showtime.
Oh, okay.
Which I absolutely love. And he does not play a crazy psychopathic killer. He's like more of like a sneaky kid.
Oh, okay.
Living in Chicago. And
okay.
And then I was like, oh my God, that's Jerome.
Yeah.
Like, wow, like what a great actor to be able to go from that, like, dirtbag kid on the street to a mass murderer, you know, who's like psychopathic. I mean, so anyway, well, that's good. I'm glad Jada Pinkett is Smith's coming back.
Because it was left pretty ambiguous whether
she could or couldn't.
Yeah, you just she was flipped over the wall, and Penguin looks down, and you just see the rocks. You don't see her laying on the rocks, so she could have went in the ocean. And
there's no blood coming from the nose, so there's no confirmation.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the giveaway right there. And have you seen the promos for 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Oh, is this the sequel to Cloverfield?
Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah, I never really enjoy it.
I never saw it.
I thought it was a Godzilla movie or something.
It kind of looked. Well, that's kind of the thing but it's all found footage, to where it's like Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
But the promos for 10 Cloverfield Lane look really interesting because it's basically one set, 3 people, John Goodman, and I've forgotten the other 2. I don't think I knew them that well. But John Goodman is one of them, and they are in like a bunker, a fallout bunker. But I think they're being kept there by John Goodman's character.
Oh.
And they try to, they basically overpower him and try to get out. And as they get closer to the door, he starts freaking out and goes, "No, you can't go out there. It'll know." So I think it's the sequel for Cloverfield. And the whole thing of Cloverfield, I believe, was just like an alien monster that had shown up.
To be perfectly honest with you, I got it on streaming service. So I was like, all right, let's try this. Looks good.
I just didn't.
And I kind of gave up on it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit through it if I could take out the garbage or something.
Yeah, there's something better to do.
I can advance the cause of my family.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's obviously set where whether that was an alien invasion or a Godzilla monster or whatever. But the thing that's been amazing is the fact that he's making a sequel to this huge movie and nobody knew it because they shot it in one location, 3 people, and that was it.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's how he was able to keep it quiet.
So they're treating it like whatever had happened is all the mythos surrounding.
Yeah, they're in the bunker and they're stuck in there. Now, surely not all of it is not going to happen in that bunker. That would be a little crazy. But at this point, J.J. Abrams has, the movie Office Space.
Yeah.
There's a documentary on the DVD of that where one of the guys in the movie are talking about Mike Judge, and they say he's got FU money. He can do whatever he wants. The studio doesn't want you to do this in your movie.
F
you, I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah.
And he's got the luxury to do that. J.J. Abrams is now at that point. He can just do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And they're going to let him.
Great stuff as he directed.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's just going to, okay, this is what I'm going to do. He'll probably still make money. So everybody will let him do what he wants. And if he doesn't, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
So he'll just do whatever he wants.
That's right. Back to Star Trek.
Yeah, he's at that point now.
Yeah.
So, but that wraps up our movie and TV news. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a spin of the comic rack.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
Hi, I'm Louis Black, and I'm a big supporter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and its mission to cure CF. People ask me, Louis, what's your personal connection to CF anyway? Well, I don't have one. I'm just passionate about finding a cure. Every year, thousands of people participate in Great Stride, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation's national walk to raise funds for CF. We spend hours wandering around for no reason. Why not walk to save lives? I'm not asking you to run, because I wouldn't ask you to do anything I wouldn't do. And actually, I don't do much walking, because after a long day of yelling and screaming about stuff, I have to lie down and rest up for the next day of yelling and screaming. Don't make me yell and scream more than I have to. Just walk with us. As a matter of fact, walk over to your computer right now and visit cff.org and sign up for Great Strides today. You'll make a difference. Support the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and help make CF stand for Cure Found.
Your weekly dose of the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast, and we've got to talk about what we just went to Saturday, last week.
We went to the farmer's market.
Yes, we got some peaches.
Of nerdery.
We got some peaches and some squash.
Okra, and I got new soap and
I could go for some okra.
A pie. No, we went to Minicon. Yeah, I know, me too. We went to Minicon. Timmy and I had a table. We did sort of a mixture, Ninja Troll, Mike Worth art, Kapow comic art. We were right near the bathroom, so Tim's great thing was I think you posted on social media, you'll see us at least once.
Yeah, we'll see you eventually.
Eventually, there you go.
Everybody's going to go to the bathrooms.
That's right. But we saw a bunch of friends. It was really nice being. If you've been to Minicon, it can get crowded really quickly.
And it came in waves. I noticed that this year.
It was, last year was this ongoing onslaught, which was, I guess, a little lighter this year maybe.
Yeah.
But we were, just before the big rush happened, we were able to go down on the main floor, see a bunch of our friends, Rico Renzi, Joey Ellis, a bunch of
Bridget
Connell, a bunch of our friends down there. Brian Stelfreeze was on the floor.
Yep.
I mean,
I never saw him.
He was
I knew he was down there, but I never saw him. Yeah.
But yeah, we rolled around and just got to chat with people and sort of say hello in that nice informal way. Everybody was incredibly friendly, and then the crowds came and
watching John Hairston Jr. do a Batman Ghost Rider commission.
That was so cool.
It was nuts. It was absolutely
what an awesome
nuts.
Man. This guy just always surprises me with like how good he gets, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and the ideas he has and the way. I mean, and I'm sure it's like people probably hit him with crazy commission ideas. And he's like, I got this. So, I think the highlight for me for the con. Just trying to think. Okay, all right. The highlight for me was the end of the con. I think I had sold one or two things, thanks to you, frankly.
Yeah.
You told people buy the stuff.
You wandered off, so I had to go. All right, I'll sell your stuff. Come on.
I'm the worst thing for my own table. So I painted Spider Woman. I painted the classic John Romita, 70s style Jessica Drew, and
not pregnant.
Not pregnant, and somebody had told me, there's somebody dressed up as Spider Woman here. But I never saw the person.
Yeah, I didn't either. I don't remember seeing.
And I thought, wow, that would have been cool.
Yeah,
doing this big painting and stuff like that. So I'm carrying all my gear out, and I'm on my way out to the car, and I'm barely making it because I'm I'm gonna do this in one trip, And all of a sudden I hear, "Whoa, that's awesome!" And I turn around, and there's the woman.
Oh wow!
It's a mom.
This was after I.
This is after.
It was
after I brought everything back out. It was a mom and all her kids. They were all dressed as everything, right? It wasn't just all Spider Family. But she was like, "Oh man, wow! I heard about you, and the con and stuff." And I was like, "Well, thank you." I didn't have the heart to be like, "Will you please buy this from me?"
Yeah, no kidding. It's available for purchase.
Exactly. Yeah. But that was really cool. I mean, she was a super fan of Spider Woman and just kind of really appreciated
it. To cosplay as Superwoman, Spider Woman, you're a pretty serious fan.
That's right. Yeah. How about you? What were some things that popped out?
Well, this is completely self-serving, but the high point of the con for me was a guy bought a piece of artwork from me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember.
Went home and realized, hey, I got to have another one.
Yeah.
So he drove back to the con. Thankfully, he still had his wristband on, so he didn't have to pay to get in twice. That would have been bad.
It would have been $5 though.
Yeah, it's not that bad. But
Right.
he came back, and because when he first bought it, he was thinking of putting it in his office. He got home, he decided to put it on his bar because it was above his bar. He needed another one to balance it out. So he drove back down to buy another piece. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember that guy came back and you were
And
like,
he had changed clothes. I didn't recognize him at first.
Yeah, right.
Like, I think him and his wife were going out on the town, and he was like, you just drive by there. I'll just jump out and run it. His wife
honey,
was in
I'll
the
be
car.
right back. Oh my God.
His wife was waiting out in the car.
Well, dude, your stuff's great. So, I mean, it's like,
Thank you.
yeah, you
Appreciate
can't just
that.
be like, hey, let's go back to Marshall's and get the other one.
It's like Lay's potato chips. You can't just eat one.
Don't refer to your work as potato chips. If anything, they're at least Pringles.
Crispy and delicious.
Yeah, they're like a sun chip.
That's right. Yeah.
They have ruffles.
They're better for you. And I actually had several discussions with people about how heinous I am to be cutting up comic books. So
Yeah, you always have to explain that
I
to
do,
get through it. People will be like, why the hell would you do this?
yeah, and there was the guy that I had one piece that was Justice League 200, which is a huge double, like almost triple size issue. It was huge.
Oh, wow.
And it had some of the best artists ever that worked on Justice League.
Nice.
And so there was a guy going, yeah, you're really wrong for doing this.
I think your response
I
should
think
be,
I think he was only half kidding,
oh, yeah.
but
Well, I mean, what are you going to do with these comics? I mean, the question always is how many kids went to college this year because of somebody's comic book collection?
none, not
None.
a one. We thought that was going to be the case.
So
but-
let's not put them in the damn closet and
Yeah.
let them never see the light
And
of day.
that's the way I look at it. Is like, okay, at least you can still read them and you can see the interior art. Like if somebody slabs a comic, you're never opening that thing again.
Right.
So, and that kind of bugs me. I mean, because comics aren't. I can understand like Action Comics 1, it being slabbed or something like that, because it's so old and it's so delicate.
You need to.
You need to do something like that.
Right.
But slabbing like Amazing Spider-Man 300.
Yeah.
You-
Why? Right. In most issues, like the moment you buy them new, they're not even a 10.
Well, no, that's first appearance of Venom, so it's a big deal.
Well, yeah, but it's not. Yeah, it's not an epic comic. What's
Yeah.
the value on it? What's the most expensive? Couple $100, maybe $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000 maybe, because Venom became such a huge
Huge hit.
character. Yeah.
And what kind of quality did you get on that one? Like a good, a fair? What?
I don't know. That was just one I picked out of my head. I don't know.
Did you get like $1?
No.
Oh.
No, that was just an example of saying, slabbing something like that.
I see. Yeah.
Rather than like an Action Comics #1 from 80
Yesteryear.
years ago.
Right.
But yeah, that's my thing is like, okay, at least they can be, the interior art can still be read and still be looked at but hey, you can call me the 4-color killer. That was Chris Carpenter called me that, and I was like,
Four-color killer.
I like that. I'm taking that.
Oh,
So,
man. That's better than Calendar Man.
it's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, we had a lot of fun at MiniCon. It's always a lot of fun. It's like you said, you run into all the people and it's kind of like before doors open, you kind of walk around and go, oh, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. And you kind of, it's like old home week. So
Yeah, right. Even Jerry, right, who's one of our...
I never got to talk to him.
He's listened to the show before. I see him at Heroes all the time.
Mm.
He's great friends with Shelton and the crew. He was there, he said, "Oh, come by and say hello." And then, man, I got to give it to Rico Renzi. He ran the show, coordinated the whole thing,
And ran his own table. I don't
ran
know
his
how
own
he did that.
table, and his wife and daughter were there.
Oh, wow.
And he took time to walk around with her. He like really did it
Wow.
all. I was like, damn, like
That's-
you definitely clone yourself. Like,
Yeah, no kidding. That's more power to you, man. I
Yeah.
don't think I could do that.
Oh no, I would be zero energy by 1 o'clock.
I'd be dead.
So
Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And our next event is February 20th in 2 weeks. I think. Yeah,
looks like it.
2 weeks. The Morganton Comic Con in Morganton, and it is. I need to look and see where that exactly is. It's coming. Wait for it.
Yep.
Wait for it. The Morganton Comic-Con will be at the Collette Street Recreation Center at 300 Collette Street, Morganton. So if you're in the Morganton area, please come by. You'll see, again, we'll be set up. Actually, we'll have 2 tables up there, so we'll have a lot more room than we did at MiniCon. So come by and see us there. And then we've got some other ones coming up. The Lexicon in Lexington, North Carolina is coming up on April 9th. Then April 30th you won't be able to go, but I'll be in Hickory, and then the next day at Charlotte Comic-Con. That's going to be a heck of a weekend right there for me.
Oh, yeah.
Hickory on Saturday and Charlotte on Sunday.
Wow.
So
I wonder if school's still be on by then, I think.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, it's right before graduation here, so.
Good Lord.
Exactly. It's going to be a mess. But we're going to have a lot of fun. And if you can always check out our website for the places we're going to be, or you can just listen to us because we'll babble on endlessly about it. So, but now let's take a spin of the comic rack.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time for the comic rack. Hey, nice rack.
Knock it off, perv.
No, it's the latest news from the enormous world of comics. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, Marvel Comics will be celebrating the Women of Power with special variant covers in March. They've released 3 of the covers that will be released. One is Rogue on Uncanny Avengers. See, it's automatic when you say Uncanny to say X-Men right after.
I know, yeah.
It's Rogue on Uncanny Avengers number 7 by Joelle Jones. Star-Lord, a.k.a. Kitty Pryde, on Guardians of the Galaxy number 6 by Sia O.M. It's O-U-M.
Could be Weem.
Weem. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Yeah. So, and, of course, the Mighty Thor on Mighty Thor number 5 by Laura Braga.
Cool.
I'm sure there'll be more
released.
Power. Yeah, there will be more released in the coming weeks here. And also, as we were talking about at the beginning of the show, another month, another change in Superman's powers. In this week's Action Comics number 49, Superman is back in action. And this in Action Comics is the throwback series. There's Action Comics and Superman, but they're 2 different ones. When they rebooted everything for the New 52, Action Comics is set 5 years ago. Oh. So that's why if you look at Action Comics, he's wearing a T-shirt with the symbol on it, and jeans and like Timberland boots.
Looks like Superboy Prime.
Yeah, it looks like a super idiot. But
what's his new
he's
power?
Like a super lumberjack.
Yeah, super hipster.
So yeah, in Action Comics, that's where he had the solar flare, the new power that they came up with.
Oh, right. That was a few weeks or no, a few months ago.
A few months ago, yeah. And then they actually did that in Supergirl as well. She did the same thing, where she blew out her to take out Red Tornado. She did the solar flare and blew out everything, and they made reference to when Superman does it, a couple days and he's back to normal. But she didn't recover as fast.
Oh, wow.
So she was afraid she had overdone it. But anyway, in this week's Action Comics number 49, Superman is back in action, having thrown himself on a giant pile of kryptonite in hopes of jump-starting his superpowers. I don't understand that.
It's like Ritalin.
But I don't understand. Okay, kryptonite hurts you. How could jumping on a pile of kryptonite
maybe he
help
thinks it'll
jumpstart your power? I guess when he's removed from the kryptonite,
maybe it'll cause
the solar energy would start.
Who knows? He thought wrong there.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But apparently, his superpowers have been acting up since his solar flare episode a couple months ago. Unfortunately, kryptonite has built up in his cells, giving him green eyes instead of his trademark blue. And he can now receive and interpret signals, like radio signals.
Wow.
Even hearing what is being broadcast. Like he could always see radio waves going through the air. he can now tap into them, and for lack of he can hear what's being broadcast on the signals.
Did he get like a gold filling or something?
I guess he's the old school.
He's got one of those like teeth that picks up radio.
Here we're getting into like Gilligan's Island territory here. Yeah. But he actually did have that power when he was the blue energy based Superman.
Oh, cool. Well, it should make sense. I mean, being energy, you hear energy.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not the power of attorney?
No, I'm sure that's coming soon.
I mean, Birdman is holding that down.
Another power. It's a new power. It's the power of attorney. So, and this is weird. This is the first time I've ever done this. This is a news story that I can't really report because I haven't read the book yet, and I don't want to pull it for myself. But in Batman and Robin Eternal number 18, they unveil the identity of Batman's mother-made Robin. Now, I'm sure that made absolutely no sense to you.
Sounds like a cookie.
The whole thing, the whole series of Batman and Robin Eternal has been them delving into a mystery of a organization that's ran by somebody called Mother. They kill the parents of children, take them to raise as almost like Black Widow, the place that spit out Black Widow, where they take them and they train them. They turn them into assassins,
like the Stormtrooper Academy.
Basically,
type of deal.
Except they actively go out, kill the parents in front of the kid to forge them.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's pretty twisted.
Is this like Batman school? Like, just Bruce
Almost,
Wayne's school.
That's the similarity.
Trauma. Yeah,
and as they're Batman's out of the picture right now, so Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake are all chasing that down, and a couple other peripheral bat people are chasing this down, and as Dick is getting farther and farther into it, Bruce went to, when he was Robin, Bruce went to Mother to, it's not being said, okay, is he doing this undercover to try to get Mother's organization and bring it down? But he went and asked for somebody to replace Dick as Robin. He wanted a custom grown, basically, Robin.
Oh my God.
And it was revealed, so far it's been revealed, she did have one, but who is it?
It's Rob Danzig.
So they're gonna reveal they're gonna reveal in 18 who it is. My first thought was Jason Todd, because he's brutal. But it could be Damian. But Damian was raised by Talia.
Yeah.
So
who
or is this somebody completely different?
Another clone. Yeah, I mean, we've had that come up before.
So
it's a robot. Is it like an android?
No. This would be an actual human.
Oh wow.
This is like a kid that was kidnapped, who is it? Yeah,
that raising thing.
So it could be. Yeah. I don't know. I'm interested now that I know that's being revealed.
That's a cool
to
thing.
me. It seems pretty early because it's a weekly series, so it's set for 52. That's what when they do their weekly series, they always do that.
Yep.
It's set for a 52 issue run, so it's a whole year. This is number 18. That seems pretty early to be revealing that. So I don't know, but I'm interested to read it and see what.
I might hold it at arm's length for a little while.
Yeah, I've at some point. Very soon, Batman will come back into the picture. Bruce Wayne as Batman will come back into the picture. So that's going to be interesting to see him be weaved into that story, because it's been the three of them mainly just chasing this down and trying to find out what all is going on and dealing with their own legacy as Robin. And something in the New 52, Tim Drake was never actually Robin in the New 52. He wanted to be.
They retconned him.
Yes,
Robin?
He wanted to be Robin, but then he decided to not use the name because of what happened to Jay. So he took the name Red Robin, So
that's
he
where
was
that
never
came from.
technically a sidekick of Batman. He was
Just
like a partner.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's kind of weird. It's I mean, I don't know if I necessarily like that because that was the thing. They all three were raised by him.
Yeah.
Even though Drake was the first one, Tim Drake was the first one that wasn't an orphan and was actually taken in by him.
Right.
Until at least initially, he was later. But so it kind of takes away some of the family connection because they're all kind of like brothers. At least for me, it seems like. And even Damien is the pain in the ass little brother, but he's still part of
Still a part of it.
Yeah.
Whether they like it or not.
Yeah, exactly. So
Well, this will be chosen family.
maybe, yes. So, but yeah, that has been revealed in Batman and Robin Eternal number 18. So I got to get that and read it now. And the new Spider-Man series, starting with number 2 in the series, it will deal with the Marvel Universe learning that Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man, is black after his uniform rips and people see his skin underneath it.
Oh.
Then the media gets a hold of it, and I mean, it's obviously a different Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because the first Spider-Man is now over in Shanghai in Parker Industries. It was more of a global thing. So the Spider-Man of New York is Miles Morales.
They don't know that.
They do now. The
public. Oh,
well,
boy.
they don't know it's Miles Morales.
Yeah.
But they know it's different.
Yeah.
It's a different.
It's another person.
Yeah, it's a different outfit. Obviously a different guy. But then, yeah, when his uniform gets ripped, they realize it's a black guy. So, and this is Brian Michael Bendis, so this should be some good stuff. So,
Wow.
but that's his new series with Miles Morales. He created him in the Ultimate Universe.
Yes.
So he's in good hands. So, and we talked about a couple weeks ago. We talked about Mary Jane Watson now being a part of Invincible Iron Man. So guess who's going to drop into the next issue? Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Now, will it be Miles or Peter?
No, it's Peter.
Yeah, right.
It's Peter.
Mary Jane.
Yeah, because it's Mary Jane, exactly. Yeah. So he shows up, and it's in the next 2 issues are called War Machines.
Oh.
So it's War Machine will be in it as well. And there's a lot of talk of Spider-Man's going to be in Civil War. We know what happened with Spider-Man in the Civil War.
In the comic with the
In the
armor,
comic
right.
with the armor. Now he's popping into the Invincible Iron Man series. Could we see the Iron Spider again?
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
They might do it like if
Just
some
to-
big bad comes up.
Yeah,
They may say, "All right, Peter, we need you to get in the armor."
just a little bit. So maybe that's where the War Machines story is going.
Probably because we never refer to Tony as a war machine.
No,
Right.
War Machine is
Rhodey's.
Rhodey's.
Yeah, it's his name. So,
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but that's coming up in the next issue. So hopefully we'll see. That'd be kind of cool. So, but when Mary Jane shows up, she talks about she's in Chicago, where she's opened a new club, and she's addressing the crowd, and she's like, "Yeah, I tried to open a club in New York, and I realized that all the superheroes are in New York, so that means all the supervillains are in New York. So my club got torn down. So
Yeah.
I moved out and came to my new favorite city. So I mean, it makes sense if all the superpower beings are clustered around New York. That's where all the throwdowns are going to be. So get the hell out of there.
Marvel, you loaded it up too much.
Yeah, a little bit. So,
Yeah.
but that is a spin of the comic rack. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to explore the multiverse with Infinite Crisis.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Now, it's time to explore the multiverse. On the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast, and we have come to our Exploring the Multiverse segment where we are traveling through the DC multiverse. We started at Flash 123, the Flash of Two Worlds, and we've traveled up through all the different events as they went, crossovers between the JSA and the JLA, and every little instance we could find of where worlds were crossing over and showing an example of the multiverse. We've now arrived at the Infinite Crisis.
That's right.
And this one's a doozy.
This one's a humdinger, yeah. This is often called the second part of the Great Crisis trilogy, right, with Crisis on Infinite Earths being the first one. And it certainly is. Every story we've read in between, including Zero Hour, which was touted as being a biggie, does not come close to it.
And this one actually, what causes it, pulls from the original Crisis. Because they don't really explain what happened to these guys at the end of it. So that's what they were able to do and pull and go, oh, hey, this was never explained. So let's deal with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if there was just as much pressing need like there was with Crisis on Infinite Earths to do all this cleanup. Because,
in the introduction that Dan Didio wrote for the trade paperback version that I have, he says that Julie Swartz used to always say, every 10 years, the universe needs a good enema. And so that's what they did.
Well, a good part of why this is going down is because of like a lot of the dark things that had happened leading up to it.
Yeah.
With other events, including Hal Jordan, including Superman. I mean, there's a lot of badness going on.
And that's a good point. If you look at the difference, you think about Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then you think about Infinite Crisis, the differences in the 20 years between the two.
Oh man,
the differences
huge.
in comics,
right?
In that amount of time,
right? The story types that they cover, the notion of the anti-hero, those are not they're normal now. They're not new, exciting things. And Crisis on Infinite Earths was well known for big deaths that stuck, and those unstuck.
Yeah, and this what year was Infinite Crisis?
This is 05.
05?
Yeah,
okay.
05,
Yeah, so Barry hadn't come back yet.
Not yet. There's no Flashpoint at this stage yet. So last episode, last we left our heroes.
Yes,
we read Countdown to Infinite Crisis, which was a big one-shot. So real quick synopsis of that helps inform today, because there's a lot leading into Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
So Maxwell Lord of Checkmate is exposed for developing hero-killing cyborgs called Omax. And kills his old friend Blue Beetle for uncovering his plans in doing so.
Not cool, man.
Right. So Lord takes control of Checkmate and begins using the Omax to attack heroes across the world. He is then killed by Wonder Woman for mind-controlling Superman, although this does not stop his ultimate plan with the robots. The Spectre loses his damn mind.
I'm sorry. So he was mind-controlling Superman.
Yeah, so this doesn't happen in that story. It's in between.
OMAC?
Yeah, it happened in. Gosh, let me pull this up, because there was literally 7 crossover series. Going into all these other things. I don't know if I have a list of them here, but it's on the DC Wikia where you can see. I mean, so Omax was a series.
Villains United.
Villains United was another. Here, I'll pull it up here because it's. Let's see.
The Day of Vengeance. OMAC Project, Villains United, and the Thanagar War.
Yeah, right. Which was we've also got Aquaman, All Fall Down, Batman Under the Hood, Birds of Prey, Perfect Pitch, Firestorm, Building a Better Firestorm, Green Arrow, Heading into the Light, Green Lantern, A Perfect Life, JSA, Lost and Found. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, Teen Titans, Life and Death, Superman, This Is Your Life, Robin, Days of Fire and Madness. Yeah.
Wow.
Nightwing had one. Outsiders had one. Yeah, they really milked this. I mean, Day of Vengeance, you said OMAC, Villains United. So they did quite a bit making this happen. But here, really quick, sort of getting back to our story, the Spectre loses his human host and is seduced by Eclipso.
Oh, that's right.
Into destroying all of magic by killing every magic user. Adam Strange's planet Ran and Hawkman's planet Thanagar enter this massive war, which we see the Thanagar-Ran war, which begins shifting the center of the universe. Black Adam, the Calculator.
That sucks. Oh, the calculator's in it?
He's
Awesome.
Deathstroke, Dr. Psycho, Lex Luthor, and Talia al Ghul form a secret society of supervillains to organize the villain community and fight back against the heroes together. Also, we see Donna Troy return from the dead in this lead-up. So, really cool. So the general gist of the Infinite Crisis, it's 05 to 06 crossover written by the amazing Jeff Johns, right? With illustrations Phil Jimenez, George Perez, Ivan Reisen, and Jerry Ordway. So real big hitters on this.
Yeah.
The story is told through 7-issue miniseries, although the tie-ins span across the entire DC universe as we listed. So there's a lot of information everywhere. There was a 4-part lead-in miniseries published as part of it, which was the Countdown Infinite Crisis, including the Day of Vengeance, the OMAC Project, all that stuff. Its conclusion was followed by the 1 year later event, skipping ahead a full year in the timeline, while the missing year was explored in the 52 event, which you've read. And
basically they just, at the end of Infinite Crisis, they all said they were going to take a year off. And then when their series picked back up, it was a year later. They had been gone for a year, and they had to come back into their lives.
Count that. And that's a great story. I feel like we should perhaps cover that, because that'd be awesome to do. So the story returns to concepts established at the ends of Crisis on Infinite Earths, when Alexander Luthor of Earth 3, Lois Lane of Earth 2, and then Superboy Prime and Superman of Earth 2 disappeared as the last surviving heroes of the destroyed multiverse. So when the multiverse collapsed, and then we had New Earth and the singletude, Alexander Luthor enclosed them into like a pocket universe, or like a paradise, as they called it. But it didn't last forever, right? We'll see sort of what's going on there. It is revealed that they have been monitoring the heroes of New Earth as they descend into darkness. So all the bad things we mentioned before.
Oh, so they were watching everything.
Totally.
Okay.
And believes that this generation is unworthy of their legacy. So they get a little cabin fever.
Yeah.
And they now return to bring back the multiverse in an effort to restore the idealistic values of their own time. So, all right, so here goes. First issue is Infinite Crisis. So we've got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman rummage through the ruins of the JLA Watchtower, which was destroyed in that lead-up series.
Okay.
I don't know which comic it was actually destroyed. And they argue with one another over Wonder Woman's recent dissension to murder Maxwell Lord. So there's a great image which comes from the Omax comic where you see Maxwell Lord killed by Wonder Woman. She literally rounds him up.
Snaps his neck.
With the... Yeah, and then there's...
She Man of Steeled him.
She did, indeed. But there's this great scene where you see Superman. He's just holding his face with blood on his hand the whole time.
Oh,
oh my God! What are you doing, Diana? He's shocked. It's a great image. If you've never read, I didn't read it. I had to look for the comic issue because it's so visceral. I imagine the artist probably damn, how do we handle that?
Yeah.
But Maxwell Lord was a long time sort of manager of the Justice League. And for him to go rogue like this was really bad. You know what I was thinking about while I was reading this? Remember the movie Selena with Jennifer Lopez? How her manager killed her. I was like, damn. Blue Beetle is Selena. Anyway, now on Earth, chaos erupts throughout most major American cities. OMAC units take control of the human hosts and hunt down wanted criminals and renegade heroes. In Bloodhaven, an OMAC soldier targets and terminates Otis Flanagan, the rat catcher.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a new character.
That's an old school. No, that's an old school.
Oh, is he old?
Character.
Oh, well, okay. He's new for me. I was like,
yeah.
Okay. Nightwing stands on a rooftop and looks towards the sky as hundreds of OMACs begin swarming over the city.
And it says something on that page.
There's words on the page?
Yes.
What did these words tell us?
The skies darken with the corrupted technology of his mentor. The OMACs brought from Wayne Enterprises tech?
Could be. That could be. I don't know. So
because
very well could be.
The 2-page spread where he's standing on a roof and the OMACs are all above him, it says there at the bottom, it says the skies darken with the corrupted technology of his mentor.
Which is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's
so
cool.
They probably came from Wayne Tech.
Yeah, I bet.
Oopsie.
Well, right. Maxwell Lord would have had
My
access. Bad. Yeah, right. Sorry. Didn't mean to put the anger chip in there. The moment I saw this, I thought of the shadow demons from
Yeah.
Crisis on Infinite Earth, sort of
Yeah.
swooping in. In the Polaris system, war rages now between the citizens of Ran and the people of Thanagar, right? The Hawk people and was it Rip Hunter? No, who was
Adam Strange.
From Adam Strange. Sorry, yes. Members of the Legion, superheroes, and the Green Lantern Corps are present, but the Corps members are lost without the guidance of the Guardians of the universe, who are gone now, right? Because this is after Hal destroyed the central power battery.
Yes.
Guy Gardner volunteers
That's right.
to lead the Lanterns. I'll handle it.
Hell yeah.
And the Guardians, meanwhile, sequester themselves inside their citadel and analyze the situation. So, yeah, they're coming back. Back on Earth, the untethered essence of the Spectre, now this is cool, destroys the New Earth Rock of Eternity, which now sends Captain Marvel plummeting down to the to Earth and lands in Gotham City. Following in the wake of the Spectre, demons begin scouring across the chaotic streets. So this is now magic has been busted, right? Because obviously Rock of Eternity, a super magical place. You destroy that. Are the sins free? Like, are they?
I would say so, yeah.
Right, if they're not kept in the rock, I mean, in the cave, then
Yep.
Okay, cool. So 20
could be
miles.
trouble.
Yeah, that's sounds like trouble. 20 miles south of Metropolis, the Freedom Fighters, who are back, would be Crisis without them.
That's right.
They conduct a raid on an abandoned refinery. Upon entering the facility, they walk into an ambush set for them by the Secret Society of Supervillains. This is a brutal part.
Yeah.
The Society takes no prisoners, okay? And now Black Condor, Phantom Lady, who we forgot her name, and the Human Bomb, all are killed.
Yeah.
Like, huge. Like, Human Bomb is one of the greatest characters from the Freedom Fighters. I think he's got one of the coolest powers.
Yeah.
And the fact that he wears the radiation suit.
Yeah, the old school radiation suit.
He is like Marty McFly. My name is Darth Vader. So that's a big death for that. And probably one of the more shocking ones of the series.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back on Earth's moon, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman discover that Mongol has been hiding in the wreckage of the Watchtower. And he makes himself known by pouncing onto the heroes, and they begin fighting. Superman beats Mongol down, and Wonder Woman is prepared to finish him off with her sword, but Superman catches the blade before it can strike.
Yep.
Right?
And it's right in the middle of his forehead, too.
Yeah.
She was going to cut him through.
There's one way to take it. It's there, I guess. And let's see. This leads into an even more intense argument between the three major heroes, right? Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And what heroes do to take advantage of villains, Mongol, barely conscious, takes advantage of their distraction and uses the JLA teleporter to escape. So that's what you get for monologue Heroes.
There you go. Yep.
Watch it. Wrap it up, B. Elsewhere, four beings watch the nightmares taking place on Earth and the Polaris galaxy. One of them, the Superman from the destroyed reality known as Earth 2. So now we're inside of the cave of paradise or whatever that
wherever
Alex Luthor created for them. And he decides that he can no longer stand by and do nothing to see all this stuff going down. So he punches a hole through the crystal barrier separating their paradise dimension from the Earth reality, and he flies off. His companions...
Looks like a job for Superman.
It is. I'm a man.
That's right.
So
Salt and Pepper Superman.
Salt and Pepper Superman is ready. He's taken his little blue pill, and he's ready to rock. His companions, Alexander Luthor, right, of Earth 3, Superboy Prime, and then Lois Lane Kent, right, of Earth 2, they follow. Now, Lois is, like, sick. She's ill.
Was she?
Yeah, it comes up.
Oh, that's right, because, wasn't she dead?
Well, she was, but saved by Alex Luthor,
Yeah.
and then he said, "Here's your wife," and then they went off into the sunset.
Yeah.
But then she actually got ill over time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I think they explain later.
Well, before you go on,
Please.
I've got to point out the little exchange. You were saying it was getting pretty intense between the heroes of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman
On the Watchtower.
in the Watchtower, and Batman's giving Superman crap, and tells him that He needs to start acting like Superman again. He's like, all hell is broken loose, and you're on the moon with me. The world needs you. And the Superman says that telling people what to do, I'm not a god. And I'm not like you, Bruce. I don't need to control everything. And he tells him, after all these years, you know it's not about control. It's about trying to do everything I can. And for you, it's about setting an example. Everyone looks up to you. They listen to you. If you tell them to fight, they'll fight. But they need to be inspired. And let's face it, Superman, the last time you really inspired anyone was when you were dead. Wow.
Wow. Damn.
That's hardcore.
Way to go, Jeff.
Man.
Taking advantage of that moment. That's an awesome line. Thank you, Timmy. Yeah. And now Timmy D will read from the hallowed pages
dramatic
of the
reading
Crisis.
Batman ripping a new one.
Cue the fire in the background. We'll jump now to issue 2, which is called The Survivors. And after donning one of his old costumes, our previous Crisis, the second Crisis dude, Buddy Baker.
Found his old leather jacket.
He did. And his peyote. It doesn't come back. I wish it did. Yeah, maybe it will in Final Crisis.
The whale in the desert.
Incredible story. That's probably one of my favorite ones of all time. So he joins several other heroes for a special summit on New Cronus, another planet. Also in attendance are Donna Troy, right, back from the dead, Cyborg, Bumblebee, Shift, Herald, Supergirl, Alan Scott, Green Lantern, Jade, Firestorm, and the Red Tornado. They find the tormented Airwave, who appears to be receiving hundreds of broadcast signals, I guess, from ships participating in the Rann-Thanagar War. On Earth, Power Girl fights up against members of the secret society of supervillains. Though powerful, she is outnumbered and finds herself locked in a crushing grip of Giganta. Yeah. What a great old school hero.
Yeah.
Suddenly, a red and blue blur streaks across the sky, toppling Giganta and destroying the robotic Mr. Atom. When Power Girl looks up, she is shocked to discover her cousin, her true cousin, the Superman of Earth 2, hovering above her.
He says, "It's been a long time, cousin."
Yeah, you looking good, cousin.
That's creepy.
Sorry. Okay, now in Gotham City, Lex Luthor conducts a meeting with the other members of the Secret Society. He needs a member of the Marvel family in order to construct a mind-wiping machine. Unable to acquire Earth's mightiest mortal, Luthor decides to set his sights on Black Adam. What of the other members of the society fail to realize is that this is not the true Lex Luthor. The real Luthor is trudging across the Arctic north wearing one of his war suits. He doesn't understand why he is here. So, interesting kind of thing, detail there. Okay. Now, Power Girl, back to them. Power Girl and her cousin fly to the North Pole, where Superman has constructed a facsimile of his old secret sanctuary from Earth 2.
Okay.
There, she meets the 3 other survivors of the first crisis. Alexander Luthor of Earth 3, we know who it is, Superboy and Lois Lane. Alex explains that, Power Girl is a survivor of her native dimension. So she's been in the New Earth world, but her memory's been wiped. Yeah, so she doesn't know that she's from Earth 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep. Because she's Earth 2 Supergirl.
Yep.
And when the multiverse ceased to exist at the conclusion of the first crisis, Power Girl somehow fell through the cracks and emerged on the newly rebooted Earth dimension. Power Girl has no memory of her time on Earth 2 until she touches Lois Lane's hand. Suddenly, her mind is awash with a flood of memories. So it all comes back now.
And it was established before, if anybody can remember those worlds, they still exist.
They exist, right, because memory is existence.
Yep.
Good. You were paying attention.
I was.
Yes. Back on Earth's moon, Booster Gold and Skeets arrive in the ruins of the JLA Watchtower after a time-jumping excursion. Booster is searching for a very important item, the Blue Beetle Scarab.
Oh, yeah.
Back in Gotham now, the Joker has a deadly encounter with the Royal Flush Gang at the Flying Pig Casino. Having failed to win himself a place on the team of the Secret Society of Supervillains, the Joker shows his displeasure by slaughtering the entire... of the Royal Flush Gang. He slaughters the entire group, and we lose the King of Spades, who's it's sad. Yeah, not a really big one. Yeah, just a spoiler. We all the big deaths so far in this first 3-issue segment have occurred.
Yeah.
But the King of Spades is gone now. So
Well.
R.I.P. All right, now back in the Batcave, Bruce Wayne makes contact with the rogue Brother Eye satellite. He tries to determine why Brother Eye has created the OMACs, but more importantly, where they are amassing.
Well, there you go. That Brother Eye was what created OMAC,
Yeah.
and Brother Eye is what Bruce.
Yeah, what's that all about? I don't know anything about Brother Eye.
It's like it's a watch program, basically.
Okay.
Kind of it can be, if you look at it, it can be almost like a 1984 kind of thing.
Because didn't Kirby create OMAC?
Yes, but this has been like
Completely rebooted. Yeah, right.
Yeah, because it was
one
OMAC
guy,
was
right?
One man Army Corps.
Who's a dude.
Yeah, that's where
tough and-
OMAC came from.
Right. But now this is an acronym still for that, but they're
It's
troopers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're robots.
And they look like Brother Eye, don't they? They have like
Yeah.
a singular
They have the
eye.
yeah.
Brother.
And that's
Yeah.
what Batman is fighting in the Batman Beyond series. And the animated series.
That's
was
where Brother Eye comes from.
Yes.
He's from the future, or at least he's alive.
He's still
then.
there, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right. That makes sense. Damn. So much reading.
Yeah.
All right, so the current OMACs were developed by the late Maxwell Lord and were designed to sanction rogue superheroes. Ironically, the hero that the OMACs are currently targeting is Maxwell Lord's killer, Wonder Woman. Now on Themyscira, Wonder Woman, Artemis, and the combined might of both the Amazons of Themyscira and Bana Migdal, did I say that correct?
I don't know.
Okay. Fight valiantly to defend themselves from the army of OMACs, right? So this stuff's going all down. A great crisis trope, right?
Yeah.
Shadow demons, OMAC warriors showing up in all sorts of places, heroes getting bunched into teams, that sort of thing. But now back at the secret sanctuary in the Arctic, Superman explains to Power Girl that Lois is in fact dying. He further tells her that the reality that emerged following the crisis is dark and corrupted. The only way to save the reality as well as Lois is by bringing back Earth 2. So that's his decree.
Or what he says, the right Earth can return.
That's right. Yeah, that's Superman's getting a little dark.
Yep.
So our third and our final issue for today's segment is called Divine Intervention.
Yeah, the Jim Lee cover. I'm sorry to interrupt there, but Jim Lee cover.
Killer.
Of
Salt and Pepper. Doesn't he look so good?
Yeah, Salt and Pepper in the Bat Cave with the Earth 2 Robin and Catwoman. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. He doesn't have the bat symbol though, right? The Earth 2 Robin.
No, he doesn't. No, it's
they
the
sort
old
of
school. Yeah.
They did more the Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I
I'm
wish they
sorry
did
to interrupt.
you do it all the time.
Well, that's
I
true.
wish they did the Robin bat symbol. I think that would have been
It's
if they
pretty
had.
silly with the big R in the middle of
That would have been
the
cool, even if it was for a glimmer of time travel or whatever. So now we're seeing the heroes of Atlantis and their enemies in a battle that's raging on in the seas. Now the Spectre emerges in a destructive fury against both friend and foe.
He's
pissed.
He's being a pill.
He's damn. Well, he lost his host.
Yeah.
So
he's nothing but pure vengeance of God.
Just roaming. Yeah, just going to the next call. The battle between the Amazons on Paradise Island and the OMACs does not go well, as their forces are totally overwhelmed, with Wonder Woman making the hard choice that the Amazons must leave the realm of existence by the protection of the gods. So they're about to be overrun. The gathered heroes at New Kronos arrive at the center of the universe, where they deal with a powerful maelstrom, as well as the warring Thanagarian and Ranian ships in the vicinity. Right, because that war is shifting the center of the universe.
That sucks.
And that's where the maelstrom is, because there's water in the middle of the universe.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Kraken. So now Superman comes to help out with the Shadow Pact in El Paso, Texas, while Jaime Reyes finds the Blue Beetle Scarab. So this is, I guess, the origin
This is where,
of Blue Beetle, the new Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle, yeah.
So they killed him in Countdown, and then we're getting him back. Cool. As a new dude. This is the second Blue Beetle, right? Jaime Reyes.
Technically third, because Dan Garrett was the first.
Oh, is he Golden Age Blue Beetle? Cool. Okay. Now, Wally West rushes off as the Flash to deal with the super tornado in Kansas City.
Yay, Wally.
Yay. Stop for a car race. But Batman is frustrated at his inability to stop Brother Eye from carrying out program Truth and Justice when Earth 2 Superman visits him, telling Batman that the Dark Knight he knew on Earth 2 is a man that lived past the death of his parents, allowing himself to love, to marry, and have a child, which is that scene, that Jim Lee scene you showed us before. Kal-El tries to reason, this is Earth 2, tries to reason with Batman that the best course of action is to allow his own reality to be replaced with that of Earth 2, which he believed held more promise than the one that Batman knew, right, in this new Earth. Unfortunately, Batman questioned whether that reality's Dick Grayson was a better version of his own, and so attempted to use Lex Luthor's kryptonite ring on Kal-El to no effect, only for Kal-El to burn it off Batman's finger with his heat vision.
Yikes.
Yeah. So Lex Luthor discovers his doppelganger's hideout and confronts him, only to be overpowered by both his opponent's intellect and his power. Fortunately, Lex Luthor manages to destroy a computer in the hideout, exposing the doppelganger as Alexander Luthor, using a holographic projection over himself. So Alexander Luthor has been playing a game here, pretending to be Lex. Then Superboy Prime sneaks up from behind and rips Lex Luthor's battlesuit off of him. Then is ordered by Alexander Luthor to dispose of him. So like Alex was really peaceful and harmonious, and now he's kind of. Yeah, they're really pissed. However, Lex Luthor teleports himself away before Superboy's heat vision touches him. Okay, next, Power Girl takes some time away from visiting Lois Lane Kent to think of whether she is willing to help restore the reality that Kal-El and his wife once knew, and re-enters the hideout with her answer when she notices a giant machine with part of the Anti-Monitor's corpse attached to it. Damn.
Yikes.
She notices that several superheroes are also attached to the machine, unconscious, which included the Martian Manhunter, who was last seen at the JLA Watchtower on the moon right after it exploded. Power Girl flies up to where John Jones is located and asks if he is okay when she is attacked from behind. It's Superboy Prime and Alexander Luthor who do this, with Superboy Prime saying that he knew she would never help them, right? And it was a bad idea to bring her in. And Alexander saying that she will help them, whether she wants to or not.
I'm looking at Martian Manhunter, Black Adam, Lady Quark,
Wow.
Ray, and I don't recognize the other one.
Let me see. It's a little tiny.
Yeah, it's a tiny little.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, but that's definitely Lady Quark, Ray,
Yeah.
Black Adam. Yeah, and that's a tuning fork.
Yeah, that's
one of the original Monitor tuning
Yeah.
forks. So now back to end the issue here in the Batcave. Batman plays back what his black box has recorded about the intruder posing as Superman, who has infiltrated the Watchtower, destroyed it, and made off with Martian Manhunter. The evidence reveals that it was Superboy Prime who has done this.
Yeah, and him punching the they used
him punching the crystal walls
Yeah.
as creating the badness in the universe.
Because they basically I think I don't know if it was Jeff Johns or Grant Morrison. One of them said anytime they needed to fix something, they just had Superboy punch something. And when he was punching the crystal to get out of there, the ripples caused problems
out into the.
So anytime they needed to explain something, that was when Superboy Prime was punching the wall, that the temporal rift that caused when he punched fixed this.
You've just named it.
Yeah.
It is now a temporal tantrum.
There you go. That's awesome.
So Timmy, this has been your bartender.
Trademark Ninja Troll Digicast.
at the Misty Borderland Lounge, saying it's a 2-drink minimum for justice.
That's right. There is no minimum for justice. Thank you very much.
So next week, Tim, barring that all things go well and I can time travel,
Yes.
I'll have read the last 4 issues,
Cool.
hopefully, we'll see this story.
The cover for the
Wrap
next
up.
one was Superboy Prime and the Superboy from this universe going head to head.
Awesome.
So,
Which was in the original Crisis was the 2 Supermen
yeah.
going head to head.
Yeah.
We'd seen that in other stories as well. So that's going to be fun, I think, to see that.
And they're screaming at each other, "You're not Superboy." Because the Superboy in this world now is a clone of Superman
Okay.
instead of an actual... 'cause
Being Superman
younger-
as a younger
yeah.
man, which that Superboy Prime is,
Yes.
right? Cool.
Yes. So it's just interesting, but it's a heck of a. I'm just flipping through it. It's a heck of a knockdown drag out. The 2 Superboys going at it. So
So that should be good. That's something
Yeah.
fun to look forward to.
that'll be the next part of the Exploring the Multiverse segment. Will be the second half of the Infinite Crisis. This is a good story. This is
Really,
look,
the last few we read, besides the Animal Man one,
not very good.
yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
even the
nice to
countdown
run
was
across
all right. It was all right.
Yeah.
But this is good.
This is really good,
Really
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that will be next week. We will continue the Infinite Crisis and finish it all out. And that is our Exploring the Multiverse segment. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have our showcase on the great science fiction novels from the 60s.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update!
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ninja Troll Digicast proudly presents The Showcase.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. As we get to our showcase segment, which is the segment where we shine the Ninja Troll spotlight on a different subject each week, and we're in the middle of a series now that's really close to my heart because it's classic science fiction novels. I wanted to go back and take a look at from like the Golden Age on some of the great science fiction novels that have come out. And last week we did the 50s. Now this week we're at the 60s, the psychedelic 60s. Cool, groovy, dude.
So do you call this like a Silver Age? If the Golden Age was the 50s?
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe.
Yes, it was kind of a. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a sterling silver.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, it's
It's one of those
glass.
It's
the glass
plutonium age.
That's right. I guess technically that would be the 50s because everybody was afraid that the bomb was going to go off.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
here we go.
Yeah.
But the best science fiction novels of the 60s, as far as I'm concerned, you have to almost start and end any conversation about science fiction in the 60s with Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert A. Heinlein.
Okay.
It's one of the...
That was a song.
Well, I'm sure it was as well.
Yeah.
But A Stranger in a Strange Land was one of the most influential science fiction novels ever.
Oh, wow.
It was the 1962 winner of the Hugo Award for Best Novel. And that's something I'm going to start including with the description of each book.
Cool.
Whether they won a Hugo or a Nebula.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it won the 1962 Hugo for Best Novel. It's the story of Valentine Michael Smith, the only survivor of an expedition to Mars, who is raised by Martians and is brought back to Earth with special mental powers taught to him by the Martians: telepathy, clairvoyance, precognition, telekinesis, teleportation, and the ability to take control of the minds of others. But he is completely naive and innocent of any kind of human mores.
Oh.
So he doesn't know duplicity. He doesn't. In a telepathic society, you can't lie to anybody.
No.
So he doesn't understand it. So he's completely naive, and he's taken back to Earth. And when I read this as a kid, probably way before I should have, because I didn't. It blew my friggin' mind. I didn't understand half of what was going on in it, but also I've absolutely loved it since, and I still have the old beat up paperback that I got when I was a kid. Because I was into Star Trek, and this book introduced the word grok. It was a Martian word that
What does that mean?
was like a sharing of minds. It didn't really have an analogous English concept.
Oh, like the meld, the mind meld.
Almost,
a little bit?
yeah,
Close.
Yeah, but
is it more the collective mind?
Almost, yeah.
Okay.
But it was and I had seen a bumper sticker that said "I grok Spock," so I knew when I had seen that. I didn't know what it meant, but then when I saw this paperback at I think it was probably like a yard sale or something like that, or I would always go to the library when they were discarding books.
Oh, you get them for nothing.
You get them for nothing. And I saw on the back of it, it had a little illustration and it had the word grok in it. So I was like, okay, this must be where that's
there
from.
it is, yeah.
So I grabbed it, and like I said, it was way over my head. But one of the things that stuck with me when I read it was he had never seen water before. Water was is a commodity on Mars, and when he came here, he was completely blown away by just seeing the ocean.
Oh wow!
It just blew his mind. It's wildly fantastic novel. It's influential. It's been influential for since then. And some of Heinlein's best work, as far as I'm concerned. And he's got a lot of really good work. So
yeah. Apparently, it is a song off of the Somewhere in Time Iron Maiden album.
Oh, okay.
Stranger in a Strange Land.
There we go.
And it's a single. It was a big single.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
See, I knew it.
Yep.
I knew it.
Yeah. But next
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a very good one.
Yeah.
Next one on the list, A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is a recurring
new one.
yeah, there you go. This is a recurring theme, but it's a dystopian future set in near future for then, near future England that is hyper violent.
Right.
And the novel, have you ever read the novel?
No, I've seen the movie.
Okay.
Right, the Droogs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was that way in the novel because it's all narrated from Alex's point of view.
Right.
And so his slang is all through it. But when it was first published, like now, if you pick up a copy of A Clockwork Orange, there's
like that?
No, it has a key to tell you what those things mean.
Oh.
When it was first put out, it didn't have that.
Oh wow!
So you just had to figure out what the hell that meant.
Word meant.
Yeah. Which
was no
it was
Google.
rough.
Yeah,
there's no Google.
Up.
You couldn't just figure out what it was. But that stuff. It was really, like I said, it was really hyper violent, and the action was just crazed the whole time.
Movie, yeah.
But that is the big thing that set it apart for me. It was so alien. It wasn't a book that you're above it, looking at this thing happening, because it was a first person narration. You were right there in it,
right.
And it was such an alien world.
Right, you weren't looking at it as look at that bad criminal. It was like, well, it's you.
It's you, yeah. It was you're right
Your
in
eyes.
that world, and you're speaking a weird hybrid language. It's so completely different, and it really felt really alien. Of course the subject material is crazy.
Yes.
So, and then he finally gets caught, and then the methods that the state uses to rehabilitate him are worse.
Right. What was is it Beethoven that he loved?
He loved Beethoven.
Yeah, and then they ruined it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a crazy crazy book. The next one, and this one is being is I think now currently on Amazon. It's one of Amazon's original programs. The Man in the High Castle by Philip K. Dick.
Oh yeah, I've watched some of that. That's
Have
fantastic.
you? Is it good?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, I keep meaning to watch it, and I never do.
What if the Germans and the Japanese both took over the U.S.?
Yeah, it's an alternate history novel set in 1962 in a world where the Axis powers won World War II.
But but it's weird. Like the alternate, like our reality is kept in film, and if people see it, it becomes
Is that what?
reality.
Okay. Well, in the novel, there is a novel that's called The Grasshopper. Let me find it. I've got it written here. The Grasshopper Lies Heavy.
It's
is
the same
a novel.
It's a film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the book, it's a novel that it's an alternate history of if the Allies won,
and it's all propaganda and
it's banned in the Third Reich. It's banned in the Pacific states of America.
Right.
But you can in neutral places you can get it. So of course it's now being
it's
spread
like
around.
the Columbia Valley or whatever, like in
the Rocky Mountain states. Yeah.
Yeah. There's all like the Wild West.
Pacific states of America, and the it's called the United States, but it's Nazi
Reich,
occupied. There's the Rocky Mountain states is a buffer between the two.
Right.
And yeah, it's I need to sit down and watch
it's a good
show.
show. The intro is like it shows the like how the animated maps from World War II.
Oh yeah.
It shows them taking over the U.S. And like they make references like I saw lots of good men die at Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
And it's like
instead of Normandy, it's
right, or Omaha Beach, right, or whatever. Yeah, it's really good. That's cool. Well, good. I'm glad that's on our list.
Yeah, and this Roosevelt was assassinated because there's always a turning point that in an alternate history book like this. There's always this happened and that's what caused all this.
Yeah,
Roosevelt was assassinated in 1933, so the Depression went on. The Depression and the isolationism of the Americas went on way too long, and then and Hitler is still alive. But he's dying of syphilis.
Yeah, he's all bugged out.
Yeah,
and there's like what would be first order type people.
Yeah,
who are trying to take over.
Yeah. But that's I always thought it was cool that it was like a weird mirror moment inside with the novel that was an alternate history novel in an alternate history novel that told the truth, but not exactly the same. Like the Allies won in the Grasshopper novel, but not the way we actually won.
Oh.
So it was different still.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn.
And the Man in the High Castle won the Hugo Award for the best novel in 1963.
Cool.
The next one is A Wrinkle in Time, which is
it's
kind of science fiction, kind of fantasy.
Yeah. I have the graphic novel version of that.
Oh yeah, I would love to see that. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. That is by Madeleine L'Engle. It's the story of Meg Murray, her little brother Charles Wallace Murray, and their friend Calvin O'Keefe. They're visited by an unearthly stranger that tells them about a tesseract, which is a wrinkle in time.
Oh.
Yeah,
from Marvel. Yeah, right.
Exactly. I had completely forgotten that they called it that.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. And Meg's father had been experimenting with these and time travel when he suddenly disappeared, and they have to go find him.
Cool.
The next one of the best ever, Dune, by Frank Herbert.
Yeah.
He who controls the spice.
Controls the universe.
Controls the universe. It was the winner of the first Nebula Award, because the Hugos and the Nebulas are the
science fiction
awards. The first Nebula Award for best novel was won by Dune in 1965, and it shared the Hugo Award for best novel in 1966. It's set on the desert planet Arrakis, a world. Basically, it's more awesome than any other in literature, as far as I'm concerned. It begins the story of the man formerly known as Paul Atreides, now known by his Freeman name, Muad'Dib. It's a mixture of adventure, revenge, mysticism, the caste system. I mean, it's real, and then you throw in like the environmentalist and the class politics and like
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just
Kyle MacLachlan.
There's so much stuff. There's another one of those that I read when I was a kid, a little before I should have, because it was over my head. I was like, okay, what the hell is going on here? But it was one of those things that I could not put it down when I started reading it.
Oh wow,
it was just awesome.
I've only seen the movie. I mean, obviously,
you better pack a lunch if you're going to read the book, because it's a huge book.
It's intense.
Yeah, and it's very intense. Yeah,
wow.
but it's absolutely awesome. And it's the fact that his legacy has gone this long. He continued the books.
Oh my God, I forgot Sting was in the movie.
Oh yes.
Damn.
Yeah. Wow. Now, and I've never watched it, but I heard the
it's a TV show.
The miniseries
yeah.
was much closer to the book, because I mean, the movie it had to drop so much stuff.
Wasn't there a sequel to Dune? Was there only
the
two?
Novel or a movie?
The movie.
The movie, no.
Dune 2?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it was a game.
Okay. But yeah, they had to drop so much stuff from the book to make the movie. It was a lot different.
Oh.
And so, but I've heard that the miniseries was much closer to the book.
Yeah,
much
they could
better.
dig in a little bit.
They could dig in a little better. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but the next one is Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. It's the 1966 Nebula winner. It's a tale of a mentally disabled man whose experimental quest for intelligence mirrors that of Algernon, which is an extraordinary lab mouse. In poignant diary entries, and you can tell I didn't write this. I just copied it because I've never read Flowers for Algernon, so I just kind of copied this.
Okay.
In poignant diary entries, Charlie tells how a brain operation increases his IQ and changes his life. As the experimental procedure takes effect, Charles's intelligence expands until it surpasses that of the doctors who engineered his metamorphosis. The experiment seems to be a scientific breakthrough of paramount importance until Algernon begins his sudden, unexpected deterioration. Will the same happen to Charlie? So it was given to the mouse first, and then they tried it on Charlie, but then the mouse starts regressing. So he has to see
if they're going to do it on him.
Okay. Whether it's going to happen to him. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I've never read that before. I've always known the name, but I've never read it. So.
Yeah.
So, but I figured it was a big enough name that I've always heard of, so I would include it in the list.
Yeah,
it's something I need to read. So there's a lot of these that I always enjoyed that now I'm sitting there going, oh yeah, I need to go back and read that again, because it's
so it's top of mind. Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. That's hard to say quickly. That is by Robert A. Heinlein. It's the 1967 Hugo winner for Best Novel. And this was his record 4th Hugo winner for Best Novel. And nobody still
he's
matched
done it.
That. Yeah.
He set the record. Back in when? 67?
67. And it was also his last one.
Wow.
And it's considered by most to be his finest work. It's a tale of revolution, of the rebellion of the former lunar penal colony against the lunar authority that controls it from Earth. It's the tale of a disparate people, a computer technician, a vigorous young female agitator, and an elderly academic who became the rebel movement's leaders. And it's the story of Mike,
the
supercomputer whose sentience is known only to the inner circle, and who, for reasons of his own, is committed to the revolution's ultimate success.
Long live the revolution.
That's right.
Cool.
And yeah, like I said, that's Heinlein's last Hugo winner.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. And he had an incredible run. If you think about, he had a lot in the 50s list, and now he's got a couple in this list.
But he's he's killing it.
Crazy, yeah. Now the next one, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick.
Yeah, that I've heard of.
This is what gave us Blade Runner.
Yeah, right. I guess that makes sense.
And the synopsis: by 2021, the World War had killed millions, driving entire species into extinction and sending mankind off planet. Those who remained coveted any living creature, and for people who couldn't afford one, companies built incredible, realistic simulacra. I butchered that, I know, but essentially fake horses, birds, cats, sheep, whatever, and they even built humans. Immigrants to Mars received androids so sophisticated it was impossible to tell them from true men or women. Fearful of the havoc these artificial humans could wreak, the government banned them from Earth. But then the androids didn't want to be identified, so they just blended in. Rick Deckard was an officially sanctioned bounty hunter whose job was to find rogue androids and to retire them. But cornered androids tended to fight back with deadly results. Deckard uses the Voight-Kampff test to determine if they are replicants, which Mike's tried to use on me, and I passed. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But like I said, yeah, this is what gave us Blade Runner.
Cool. Blade Runner sounds better than do androids for electric sheep.
Exactly. It's much more poignant, though.
Yes.
And in this, it was a status, like if you had a real pet and it wasn't a replicant, it was a status symbol.
Yeah, I remember that snake, right, was like a replica in the movie.
Yeah, and in the beginning of the book, that was the thing. He was going to the place to look at the fake pets, basically, and it's like, do we really want to do this? He's like, and that's the big sales pitch was, nobody will be able to tell that it's a replicant. Nobody will be able to tell that it's not a real pet.
Yeah.
And they were like pushing that because, everybody wants to look like they have a real pet. They don't want to spend it to get it. But yeah, it was. I am so glad that this is coming back and they're doing a sequel to Blade Runner.
It's gonna be awesome.
And this original material is so crazy and so ahead of its time. It was.
So they'll be able to get like stuff for the new movie from the original book, or would they have to like write up a whole new?
No, they'll have to write up. There was a sequel that was written by his name is escaping me now. There's a
K.W. Jeter.
There you go, K.W. Jeter. It's called Replicant Night. Was the sequel novel.
Yeah.
And Deckard. It follows Deckard. He's moved to Mars. So I guess that's all. Now that's what they call the Star Wars stuff that's not canon anymore.
Legends.
Legends, yeah. I guess that's Blade Runner Legends now. It's not true canon.
Retcon.
Retcon it out of existence. But yeah, K.W. Jeter he wrote a couple of like follow-up novels to Blade Runner with the approval of the Philip K. Dick estate.
Cool.
To use those characters and everything. So it wasn't just fan fiction. He actually had permission to do it. But yeah, it was an incredible book that like I said, I think it was far before its time. It was cyberpunk before cyberpunk was even a thing. 20 years before cyberpunk was a thing.
Daryl Hannah, how she looked in that.
Yeah.
All like Adam Ant meets Harley Quinn. Yeah.
And to hold the speech by Rutger Hauer.
Oh, Rutger Hauer, yeah. Oh, man.
Tears in the rain.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. And then the next one in the list is Stand on Zanzibar by John Brunner. It was the 1969 Hugo winner. There are 7 billion plus humans crowding the surface of the 21st century Earth, which is actually,
sounds kind of familiar.
That's what the population is now.
That's awful.
But in this was like, again, dystopian thing.
So they thought
everybody's so crowded.
That number was going to be
so
bad.
It's so crowded, and the Earth is so overcrowded, and that was the whole thing. And the name Stand on Zanzibar came from somebody in the 50s said that if every person on the Earth was standing upright, they could all fit on the Isle of Wight. They're just like shoulder to shoulder. They would all stand there, and then the joke was, as the population gets more, you need a bigger island, and they were finally saying now it had to be Zanzibar to get everybody standing side by side. So,
All right, I think I'm with you.
that's where the title came from.
Okay.
So, you're with me.
I'm
It's-
just going to say all right.
Okay. It's an age of
Works.
intelligent computers, mass market psychedelic drugs, politics conducted by assassination, scientists who burn incense to appease volcanoes, all the hysteria of a dangerously overcrowded world portrayed in a dazzlingly inventive style. Donald Hogan was a mild-mannered student, a dilettante intellectual. At least that's what everyone was supposed to think he was. But Donald knew otherwise. He knew he was a spy. But what Donald didn't know was that in a world overpopulated by the billions, in a society squeezed into hive-living madness by mega-brain computers, mass-marketed psychedelics, and eugenics, where everyone was struggling for life, he himself was programmed for death. This was, like I said, it was dystopian, and I didn't even pay attention to the fact that the dangerous overpopulation that they were claiming is what we have now, and we're nowhere near the dystopian.
Yeah, maybe.
It's not.
We're getting there.
Yeah, it's not
happen.
great, but this thing, it would take entire chapters just dedicated to background information and
man.
building the world.
Oh, was that
sounds
cumbersome, or was that?
It sounds cumbersome, but it wasn't. It was so well done that, I mean, John Bruner did such a great job. It was just painting a picture.
Yeah.
It gave you the background that you needed to understand everything that was going on. And it was, some of the most extensive world building that you're ever going to see. And it probably now wouldn't have gone over, like an editor would have made him cut a lot
of that. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
what can you
of
say in the shorter time?
Exactly, yeah.
Tweet this, please.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula Le Guin.
Ooh.
1969 Nebula winner and 1970 Hugo winner. This is another one that I've never read. I've always heard of, but I've never read it. It's the story of Jinli Ai, which is spelled A-I, so I'll assume that's how you pronounce it. I is a ethnologist observing the people of the planet Gethan, a world perpetually in winter. The people there are androgynous, normally neuter, but they can become male or female at the peak of their sexual cycle. They seem to Jinli Ai as alien, unsophisticated, and confusing, but he is drawn into the complex politics of the planet, and during a long, torturous journey across the ice with a politician who has fallen from favor and has been outcast, he loses his professional detachment and reaches a painful understanding of the true nature of the Genethians, and in a moving and memorable sequence, even finds love.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking at the I'm always looking to see if there's like a graphic novel version of these things. So,
I'm sure there is.
yeah,
on a
especially
lot
if
of
any
them.
of these have won awards. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of them that have. And the next one on the list, Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut.
Very nice. That I've read.
I love this. I've always loved this novel. It's one of the great anti-war books because it's a war book, but it's telling you how much war sucks the entire time.
Absolutely.
And it's the story of Billy Pilgrim, who becomes unstuck in time.
Yep, just bouncing around.
I always loved that phrase. I love that the descriptive phrase. He's unstuck in time. He doesn't have to stay in one place.
Well, I would assume that we would all be stuck, right?
Yeah.
In some way. Yeah.
Yeah. It also had one of the best lines. It was describing the sound of when he was in the war in Dresden.
Right.
The mortar or the cannon going off sounded like the zipper of God Almighty. I just thought that was the funniest thing.
And weren't there like triggers? Like weren't there things that would occur that would make him jump?
Make him go.
And go to and he would go up to where those aliens were in space, and then back down to World War II. And then he'd go ahead in his life and see.
Yeah, and I think he could pick where he wanted to go. If I remember correctly, he could decide where he was going.
I think you're right. This is a movie from the 70s or so.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I had to watch it in like a class in college, so
Okay.
it was like because it was all about time travel and how the movie was all disjointed and non-linear.
Yeah, and he was by almost taking like the aliens, they were able to see the whole thing at one time.
Right.
He begins to do that as well, and kind of.
He has his little like apartment in space. I remember. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a suit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like one of those jungle gym things.
Yeah. Yeah, Kurt Vonnegut, again, is like one of those guys that I think he was so ahead of his time. And just crazy, crazy notions. I mean, it's just awesome. I love that novel for the longest time.
Yeah, very bizarre. For sure.
It was very bizarre for sure. Yeah. But some honorable mentions: Planet of the Apes by Pierre Boyer.
Cool.
It was originally a French language novel.
Oh.
And it's a little different than a movie. It's not. They don't follow completely, but it's an interesting read.
Is it still more or less the same?
More or less the same. Yeah.
Is it like an allegory for something about like colonization or something?
Probably, yeah. It's you could look at it that way. And it's also the class system because the
types of apes.
The types of apes are split up.
Monkeys,
and they're racist. I mean.
Oh yeah, gorillas don't get along with the orangutans and the chimpanzees. And
it's complete racism. So.
Yeah. Dr. says.
Yes. The next one, Way Station by Clifford D. Samac, is the 1964 Hugo winner. Enoch Wallace survived the carnage of Gettysburg and lived through the rest of the Civil War to make it home to his parents' farm in southwest Wisconsin. But his mother was already dead, and his father soon joined her in the tiny family cemetery. It was then that Enoch met the being he called Ulysses, and the farm became a way station for space travelers. Now, nearly 100 years later, the U.S. government is taking an interest in the seemingly immortal Enoch, and the Galactic Council, which set up the way station, is threatening to tear itself apart. So he's kind of got a foot in both worlds and has to deal with with both.
Alien and domestic.
On Earth, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then Fantastic Voyage by Isaac Asimov. This was made into a movie. 4 people are shrunk down to microscopic size to save a dying man from a blood clot.
Wow.
They actually go into it. They have a atomic sub, and they go into his bloodstream.
I remember this.
And yeah, you'll remember the movie, I'm sure.
Proteus ship. Yeah,
yes.
I remember this.
Yeah, and the guy was some, like, they had to save him to save the world. I don't remember exactly who he was or what was going on, but he was he was somebody important that they had to save.
More important than Raquel Welch?
Nobody's more important than
that's
Raquel Welch.
definitely not.
Come on. Yeah, back then, nobody's more important.
So this was not just a Parliament Funkadelic song. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
That worked out.
But it's also a classic. The next is called Make Room by Harry Harrison. It gave us the movie Soylent Green.
Oh my God.
Soylent Green is people.
Ew.
Yeah. And that was the make room because it was overpopulation.
Yeah.
They had to feed people with whatever.
Ooh.
It's people. And the next is actually a short story collection that it's kind of science fiction. It's kind of hard. It's Harlan Ellison.
Oh.
Harlan Ellison is just Harlan Ellison. You can't
awesome.
really say it's science fiction or fantasy or horror or whatever. It's all that. And just crazy whacked out.
Which one?
The collection was called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Yeah.
Which is one of the stories in the collection. And like I said, he vigorously fights to be classified as science fiction or any genre.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because his stuff is all those different things, all thrown into a blender and poured out. I mean, it's just Harlan Ellison.
I know he was great and everything, and I've only really ever known him as being like somebody who would be on the Sci-Fi Channel as like a personality.
Oh, okay.
And he passed away, right? Didn't
He passed away maybe a couple years ago.
A few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So what was his sort of like? What did he do for science fiction? Like, what was his sort of thing?
He's probably best known for writing the original story to The City on the Edge of Forever, the Star Trek episode.
Oh, okay.
Where they go back in time Edith Keeler. They have to let her die, or else the timeline messes up, and the Nazis win the war. And
this is when they go and Spock has to wear the helmet to keep his ears covered.
No, he was wearing a toboggan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's when Joan Collins was on the show.
Yeah.
But
wow.
the
right. Yeah, he's got the beanie cap on, and
the original story though that Harlan Ellison wrote was way too. It had to have been like a 2-part episode, and would have taken up the budget for like 3 or 4 episodes. And he wanted one of the crew members to be a drug addict. They were like, okay, no, that's not happening.
Oh, wow.
So it had to be vigorously rewritten. So
why? Yeah.
But yeah, his like the original as the story I've heard is like the original script he turned in would have taken and they had basically 1 to 2 weeks at the most to shoot it. Yeah. It would have taken like 6 to 8 weeks to shoot, and it would take all their budget, and so it was like, oh, okay,
that would have been great though.
Appreciate your work, but we gotta pare this down.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, he has an incredible mind, but he had an incredibly large ego as well.
Oh, and wasn't he like in rivalry with some other people?
A lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people. Okay, all right.
He bashed heads with a lot of people. So. But yeah, that was one collection of his short stories, and I've always loved that title. I have no mouth and I must scream. It's cool.
It's like Soylent Green.
It's people. The next one is Lord of Light by Roger Zelazny. It's the 1968 Hugo winner.
That's what the Kirby drawings were made for that they used in Tehran, right, to free the Americans
for the Argo thing, the thing that got turned into the movie Argo.
Yes.
Earth is long since dead. On a colony planet, a band of men has gained control of technology, made themselves immortal, and now rules the world as the gods of the Hindu pantheon. Only one dares oppose them. He who was once Siddhartha is now, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that.
Oh, Siddhartha.
Siddhartha.
Right.
But then Mahatman, the binder of demons, Lord of Light.
This is all Indian.
That's
Hindi
the
lore.
cool thing.
Yeah.
When you're reading a novel, you can just go, oh, yeah, that. And just keep going. You don't have to worry about pronouncing it. So you can read it and just keep going. Then you got to say it out loud and look like an idiot.
Wow.
The next is 2001: A Space Odyssey by Arthur C. Clarke.
Awesome. Yeah.
And it was, I always thought that he wrote the novel and then the movie was done from that. They came up with the concept at the same time.
Oh, cool.
So the movie and the novel was written at the same time.
Wow. Open the pod bay door, Sal.
Absolutely.
How?
What are you doing, Dave?
How?
The next is Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey. That's more of a fantasy novel. But I think it was nominated for both Nebula and Hugo Award winner, or the awards. Then Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton. I think it was one of his first big ones.
Yeah.
Microorganisms from space. Anything Michael Crichton did usually had some type of bio thing to it. Yeah. And then the last one on the list here is Nightfall and Other Stories by Isaac Asimov. Nightfall was one of the most intriguing concepts I've ever. It was a short story. Well, actually, it was a novella, technically. But he later expanded it into a full novel. But the concept was one of the most intriguing ones I've ever seen.
What was it?
Was a planet that was in a trinary system. So it never didn't have light. There was no night.
There's sun everywhere.
Sun everywhere all the time. So they had no concept of night. There was days that there was only one sun in the sky.
Ooh, nice and cool.
But yeah, but it kind of made them nervous because it was too dark. They didn't know. I mean, they had never. You think about it. They had never seen darkness.
Yeah, right. I mean, Tatooine would be something like the two binary star.
It was binary, yeah.
Oh wow!
And,
So that's what the night.
Nightfall is when there was either an eclipse. I forget now. Yeah, it would have to be an eclipse. That lined up with a time when it was just
the one star.
The one star,
Oh,
and then there was an
cool.
eclipse, and it was plunged into darkness.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they
everybody lost their
freaked
mind.
out.
Wow.
And in the expanded novel that I think he did that in the 80s or maybe 90s when he expanded it into the full novel.
Okay.
They found out that the society had basically completely rebuilt itself every 3,000 years. And that's the mystery that they're trying to figure out. It's like, okay, we found...
Is this the moment that...
Yeah, exactly. We found different stratas in these ruins of basically like different societies that have been built on top of it, and it happens every 3,000 years. And they start to realize that
time is it?
it's lining up, and there's a planet that we didn't know about because you think about it, they've never seen the stars. They've never seen a dark sky.
Right.
And that's the thing they talk about the skies burning, because to them they've never seen stars, so they don't know what that is.
Right.
So the sky gets dark, and then there's these points of light that completely freak them out. Yeah. It was a really cool concept, and
I like
Asimov does that all the time. He takes these little.
It's so simple.
It's a simple concept, and he takes it to its logical. I won't say its logical point, but past that to find where the story would be, and what you could do.
Make it good.
Yeah, what you could do with that.
I mean, I could see you if you lived in like a Stockholm or something, you could like come up with this idea, like where it's never night during certain times of the year, and that's interesting, But they like to truly have it where it's not just like, it's the way that the Earth's tilt or the world's tilted.
You've never seen darkness at all.
No, because a new sun's coming up.
Yeah, exactly. You usually always got at least two in the sky at one time.
Now, is this a desert planet that they lived on?
No, no, it was temperate. Yeah,
it was lush and
yeah.
Oh wow, so that's interesting.
Yes, it was essentially like an Earth-like society
with 3 suns.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess the distance it could be.
Yeah, it would be like out of the Goldilocks.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was a very cool concept. So, but that was his collection. It was that novella and a handful of other stories. He had so many short story collections. You could just throw a dart at the wall and get a really good one. So,
bam, aliens. Yeah, ice skating with no sun.
He never did a lot of like alien stuff. His stuff was usually always humans.
But off-world, sounding, that's cool.
So that was almost I guess you would say a criticism that people had of him, is he never did like an alien thing, and he was just like, well, I know humans, so
that's what I'm gonna do.
I want to write. I want to write about human emotions, so that's what I do.
Yeah, thanks.
So, but that is a look at our the greatest science fiction novels of the 1960s. That's our showcase for this week.
Awesome.
Next week, the 70s.
Wow.
That's right. The disco era.
That's great.
So we'll see what comes out of that. And then after that, I'm really excited. It's when we hit cyberpunk in the 80s.
Ooh.
That's going to be good stuff.
That's good. Yeah.
So, But before we get out of here, we're going to take a look at our picks for this week.
Yeah.
And I talked about last week how I needed to jump back in and start reading an actual novel. I've done that.
Hey.
Armada by Ernest Cline. Ernest Cline, his first novel was Ready Player One. I've talked about it on the show before. It's being made into a movie by Steven Spielberg right now.
Right.
And it's this guy is one of us. The Armada is based on. Do you remember the 80s movie Last Starfighter?
Yeah.
Where the kid was training and he found out he was. It's kind of like that concept. This kid is really into playing video games, and his father, who was killed before he was born, he finds some notebooks and stuff that he's written, and his father believed that the media and entertainment and video games were doing that. We're training people, and the entertainment industry, like starting with Star Wars, was training you to not be freaked out about it. So, of course, he kind of sees that, and he's like, okay, Dad was a crackpot. And he kind of ignores it. Then the first chapter of the book, he's sitting in school, and he looks outside, and he sees the flying saucer, like one of the ships from the game he plays all the time, outside over the trees.
Wow. So
I'm about not quite 100 pages in yet.
Oh, cool.
But it's really well done, and he's
Armada.
in the gaming society. I mean, this guy knows gamers, and Ready Player One is an incredible book, and I recommend that because the movie is probably this year sometime, or maybe next year. It's going to be coming out.
Awesome.
So I think you should go out and grab it and read it, because it's an incredible look into gaming society. It's where this one is set now. Ready Player One is in the future, where online life has become the real thing,
right.
And money that you have online is what you care about, and people spend the entire day with a VR rig online, and they're able to live their life there. Or the main character, he's a celebrity, a superstar online, but he lives in a crappy trailer park
in real life.
So, but that is Armada by Ernest Cline is the one that I'm reading right now, and my other pick is The Worst X-Man.
Yeah, I heard you mention this.
It's Marvel Comics. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but it's pretty good. It's from it's a kid whose name is Bailey, and he finds out that his parents are mutants. They've kept it quiet the entire time because they didn't want the stigma.
Yep.
They find out that he finds out that they're mutants, and they take him to be tested by Hank McCoy, Beast, and he finds out that he is a mutant. But his mutant ability is to explode permanently. So he can't use it. So it's not like
he has it.
They test him, and that's what
and
Hank
they say,
tells him.
your genes are doing this or whatever.
But if he uses his power, it's not like he explodes and then he's able to do it again. If he explodes, he's done.
That's it.
So he's a mutant, but he can't use his power.
Who was the guy who could explode? That was in that like started Civil War or the Initiative? I forget. From the Warriors, the New Warriors. It was a bad guy who they like went to go fight.
Was it Sunspot?
No, because Sunspot, I think it was a bad guy.
I don't remember. The original Civil War. Yeah, because I remember that was the event that...
it might have been that started the Registration Act.
Yeah.
But I remember somebody had that ability to blow up, and they like took out a school.
Yeah. They let's see. Yeah.
And like was it not Cannonball?
Hold on, I got it here.
Yeah.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't.
Well,
Nitro.
Right. Who just exploded and
yeah. And then he could reform himself. Bailey can't do that.
Bailey can't do that.
He can't do that.
That sucks.
So, so he went from being ordinary and wishing he could be something special, finding out he is special, but out of the special people, he's now Mr. Ordinary again.
Yeah.
So he's and his parents, when they leave he's going to go back home, and they're just going to go back to their normal life. Sentinels attack, and they step on his parents.
Oh.
So his parents are dead. So he stays at the Xavier school.
And he can't do anything about it, though.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
But he ends up running across. He's at a recruiting place to recruit people for the school.
Yeah.
And he runs across this girl who is this is described by Beast when he checks her. She's an Omicron level mutant,
which is epic.
Yeah,
right?
and he said basically he said, well, what does that mean? He goes, I don't know, I just made it up. He basically makes a new level for her because she can make everybody go away. That's her power. She was sitting there, and he asked her, what she could do, and she said, I can make everybody go away. And he kind of laughed, and she goes, no, watch. And everybody leaves. They're in there by themselves, and he freaks out. I was like, what the hell did you just do? He goes, no problem. Boop, and they're back.
So is this a series or a one shot?
I think it's supposed to be like a 4-part series.
Oh, cool. And this first issue's coming out. It's out.
First 2 have been out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really good. I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I figured it would just be goofy, but it
sounds good.
Yeah, it's really
I
good.
like when they do this challenge of powers and what it means to be a super, and a mutant.
Yeah, exactly. So he, like I said, he goes from being Mr. Ordinary in the regular world. He finds out he's special, but he's still ordinary in that world. And then he runs across this friend of his who the reason he gets her there is he's nice to her. And the other people with him are just like, screw this, let's just get out of here.
Stupid.
Yeah. And so she says, okay, I'll come to the school, but I have to be on a super team with him. So by association, he becomes
forced association.
something special. Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds cool.
It's a cool little series so far. So
nice. So I've got a very strange movie that actually came from an influence of you doing your showcases on science fiction novels.
Cool.
And it was something that just sort of ping in my brain. So the movie's it came out in 2011. It's called Resurrect Dead, The Mystery of the Toynbee Tiles. So for 3 decades, strange linoleum plaques with messages about resurrecting the dead have mysteriously appeared on streets throughout North and South America, prompting director John Foy to seek out the story of their origin. Now, what these say is it says Toynbee idea in movie 2001, Resurrect Dead on planet Jupiter. And that's all it says. And there's like thousands of these tiles, and they're like this person uses asphalt, and they like sort of melt them into the concrete.
Yeah.
And no one knows who the artist is that makes them, and this director tries to find who this person is.
Wow.
And this is like 30 years of street art, if you will.
Yeah.
That's gone unchecked, but it has this great science fiction reference.
Yeah.
I guess it references Arthur Toynbee. He's like a psychologist or something. He's a famous guy. Yeah. And then Arthur C. Clarke's mention of the 2001. So it's a really cool film. It's like really it's like, whoa, it's on edge. And it's a cool one. I just thought it would be a nice sort of connection to, because we were talking about Arthur C. Clarke today, right? Because you said 2001 became a novel at the same time as the movie.
It was concurrent. Yeah,
concurrent.
Yeah.
So that notion of Jupiter, right, in the story, and then like they go there, and then supposedly like they see relatives. Well, I guess that 2010 is more deals with that.
Yes.
What, like when we go back or whatever.
Yeah. 2001, they went and created the
Dave and Hal
yeah.
sort of combined, right?
Yeah,
with the
create a new
intelligence.
form of life.
Right.
And you had the big space baby.
Yeah.
At the end.
Right. With Dave dying, going through his whole life in that
he
room,
went through
and
his,
then resurrected as the new entity.
Yeah. And man, my wife hated that movie.
Oh, it doesn't make a lot of sense if you're not quite up on.
Yeah, it was like,
about
this is really cool. We need to watch now. And I told her, I was like, okay, the beginning, you have to go through the monkeys.
It was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Before dialogue.
Yeah,
that's the thing they say about 2001.
Yeah,
it's just okay, where's
it
the
is,
dialogue?
and I think that was like we were talking about earlier about J.J. Abrams having the luxury, having the FU money to do what he wants. That was Stanley Kubrick, just going, you know what, I'm doing what I want.
Yeah.
And then Arthur C. Clarke and I came up with this concept. We were doing it together, and
Shazam.
That's what we're doing.
That's right. Yeah. So that's on Netflix. It's a really great film. It's got 4 out of 5 stars. I mean,
sweet.
It's done pretty well.
And what was the name of it again?
Resurrect Dead: The Mystery of the Toynbee Tiles. Toynbee. After Arnold Toynbee, not Arthur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, it's a good one.
Cool. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. Remember, for all the latest news from all around geek culture, make sure you follow us on social media, facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast.
We're on classmates.com. No, I'm just kidding. We're on Twitter at Ninja Troll Show.
And Instagram at Ninja Troll Digicast.
Catch us on AOL and Prodigy. Sorry. All right. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/C/Ninja Troll Digicast.
And you can always visit us at NinjaTrollDigicast.com. While you're there, click on the subscribe to iTunes button to get the Ninja Troll on iTunes. Make sure you join us next week. Same Ninja time, same Ninja channel.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Tim say,
"Yes, Destiny has her hand on my back, and she's pushing."
This is the Ninja Troll Digicast. The defenders of all things geek culture.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.